How y'all doing today? I don't know if I'm too loud, too quiet. Sorry about being about like 14-ish minutes later than I planned to be. Not that any of you knew, because I didn't announce anything. Regardless, I was having some like audio issues. Should have checked it earlier, but like randomly a bunch of my like volumes for stuff got changed. So like the actual like music was super loud, but my voice had become like super quiet. I don't know if it was like my audio or the audio of Streamlabs. Whatever it was being special. So here we are. Hello. It is Sunday my time, like 9-ish p.m. I know it's like Saturday for some people, Sunday for others. It depends on where you are in the world. I recently have been like feeling bad, like sick a lot, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I think cold medication's helping a little bit. Sleep is definitely helping. But back to work on Monday, yay! And I have hockey trials, which I'm a goalkeeper, so essentially goalkeeper trials don't happen very often. Like we just don't get goalkeeper trials very often, especially at my club. But they've decided to bring in a specialist on like goalkeepers and grade us officially this year. We had it happen a couple of years ago, the year of like COVID. So we had it happen then, and it was madness. It was actual madness. Hey, Mikey the Shredder, how you doing? And how happy that you claimed first. Welcome. But yeah, it like nothing happened the year they did it. Like 2020 was when they last tried it. They graded us and then made no decisions based on it. It was like the people who normally would have been in like 1 and 2 got into 1 and 2. 3 they couldn't make their mind up about, so they were just like, how about you guys split it? It was not great. And then they had the normal person for 4, and then they couldn't make up their minds about 5 and 6, so they just like left it up to the coaches again. Like they did nothing. Nothing changed about any of it, and I'm just like, they've got in 2 newer keepers because we won a bunch of championships again last year. Hey, friendo, yeah. Oh, you finally changed your name. I'll have to remember this. Yeah, I was like, I haven't fully seen the name before. Like, it should have shown up as like new person because they like added that feature in. But yeah, so you finally changed your name. That's great. I know that because it was kind of restricting you. I did laugh because I think they announced some kind of like Hatsune Miku related product that was coming out for like Nintendo. I was just like, see that. And fun story, I had someone come to my like Animal Crossing island, so I was like on someone's stream and they're like doing Nookazon like things in the stream of like, hey, anyone come and do like, they were services, so they're like doing services, so like they'll come and weed your island, or they'd like pick up all your shells, or they'd write on your bulletin board. And the person came on my island and drew a Hatsune Miku, which glorious, absolute glorious one, I say with all of the sarcasm I can muster, and they put it on the board, and I'm like, I've taken a picture of it because obviously I want to preserve that for like forever, because they like delete after a certain number of people like draw on your board, it like deletes itself. Let's see if I can find it, because I know I took a picture of it. It's just like hidden amongst my photos. You know, I might not have taken a picture. Anyways, I'll take a picture of it before it deletes because I don't want to like it disappear, you know? But yeah, so I have like goalie trials coming along. And I'm not entirely enthused about them because we have 2 new keepers who are younger than me, which great, glad, happy that they're bringing in some new keepers. Yay. But I'm also kind of just like, great. Is this gonna do anything? Are you gonna, because the thing is, there's a difference between them bringing in a specialist to officially grade us and actually listening to the like person doing it. There's a little bit of a difference, because the thing is, even though they did it last time and they had someone grade us, they didn't really seem to pay any attention to it, because I stopped more balls than 2 other people who are of the same like division as me, like division wise. The 3 of us were all on the same like similar playing field. Now I turned down Division 5 and went into Division 6, the lower division, because I wanted to like win a season with our team. Regardless, should have gone into 5. If I get offered it again, I will take it. But like, I don't even know if this is gonna do anything or if they're just gonna put me back in 6 and they're like, the team will be different, so it will be more of a challenge, because half of my teammates left at the end of the season, because we all just wanted to win like one final season together, and now a bunch of them have all left. There's only like maybe 6 of us at the trial, 6 or 7 of us, which, you know, it's half a team. It's mostly the defensive line anyway that are still there, so it's like a whole thing. I have my own theories on what's gonna happen. All I know is I have to go to the trial, do my best, and they'll place me how they're gonna place me. So it's just a matter of let's wait and see. Because I kind of want to be in 5 for more of a challenge, because I did improve when I was in 5. But if I'm only like a Division 6 player, I get it if there's like a better keeper than me and they want to put that other keeper into 5 instead. Okay, well, as long as the season's fun and I don't go through the season feeling like I'm wasting my time. Because, you know, you don't want to go. The thing is, I'm the goalkeeper. We're not supposed to get a ton of action in a game, but the thing is, I don't want to feel like I'm just doing nothing every single game and wasting my time. I want to have like a little bit of action, you know? I know that the other teammates are like, no, we never want you to see the ball. But I still kind of want to see it sometimes. You know? Plus, not every like, it shows that you still have room to grow, and it forces the like defensive line and your other teammates to get better. I just have my own like opinions on all of it. So, anyways, today I'm gonna be playing Stardew Valley. Now I played Arceus on Sunday, which was really fun. Not Sunday. I played Arceus on Friday, the 10th. It was I think it was Thursday. So I think I played it on Thursday because I like was sick from work on the Friday and like was relaxing on the Saturday because I was like, you either stream Saturday, Sunday, and then Thursday, Friday, because I want to try and like make a kind of plan of what days I'm gonna stream, so it can be on like a regular thing of when I stream. Anywho, streaming today, and then I'm streaming again on Tuesday. But today we're gonna start a new run of Stardew Valley because I had a save of Stardew Valley that I made for stream. I don't actually remember. Still need to play Stardew Valley more. Yeah, it's a great game. Well, because I've been watching a little bit of it because I've been avoiding Arceus because people have been like playing Arceus a lot and I don't want to get spoiled for like plot and like what Pokemon are in it. There's like a list of things that I don't want to get spoiled for with Arceus. I think I wrote it down and it was just like the things I don't want to get spoiled about Arceus that I was like trying to avoid. And it was like how to unlock like battling alphas, like what Pokemon is in the game, how much storage you can fully unlock, whether or not like you can get more pastures in the town and how, like, or if you have to start like getting rid of Pokemon. There was like a list. There's like, and then it was also like how to unlock other mounts because you've gotta. They're in the trailer, so I assume it's that you have mounts. We had them in Sun and Moon. And you kind of had them in Sword and Shield, and so it was like you had like a mount system where it wasn't like a Pokemon that was yours that you were riding through the game. It was like you summoned it and then rode on it. So I'm kind of curious like how that all comes together, like how you unlock it all. I also don't know if there's like cities and places in the like actual map, none of which I want to be spoiled for. And most people have been playing Arceus that are streaming it since like launch. So they're much farther in the game than I am, because I'm only at like level 1 point. I made a second save file just for streaming on, so I looked up where I was, what Pokemon I had caught on my like first save at the like point I ended stream, replicated it in a second save file, and just saved the game at that point. Because I was like, I wanted to keep playing Arceus on my own, but you know, like I want to grind and catch a bunch of Pokemon on my own kind of way, and like whenever I feel like it. So I have like a base idea of a little bit farther, but I stopped at a certain point because I was like, you know what, I don't want to go too far on the story because then I won't be able to experience it on stream, on my stream save file, without being like, oh, this whole thing. So I like stopped. And I just like put a pause on it, and I like replicated the save file I had for stream, changed it to my Twitch name instead of my legal name, and was like, excellent, there we go, and like paused it. So I decided to play Stardew Valley instead today because I was like, I've been having an Animal Crossing burnout, like a bit of an Animal Crossing burnout. So haven't really the way I've been playing Animal Crossing has been a little different recently. It's been like I've been playing Animal Crossing, but my island is kind of chaos. I'll get more into it while we're playing Stardew Valley because I want to get into the game. But you know, it's just special. Where is that? Aha! Webcam. We also gotta move it, because where it is right now is gonna be pain in the butt for Stardew Valley. Because, you know, over in the, like, that corner is, like, where all the stats are for Stardew Valley. So I gotta remember where all the stat things are, so I think I'm gonna put myself, like, here, roughly, I think, or, like, roughly over here, and we'll, like, figure it out as we go, if I need to move myself again. So, we're making a new game. So this is my second, second account, I think. I want to make sure I don't have a bunch of loads that I have to delete. Because, you know, if you have, like, 5 saved... Okay, cool. So I have my main person, who's, like, my, like, Isabelle account. This one's my second one, and so this is where I'm putting my stream saves of Stardew, so that way if I have to, like, write over any on my main one, I'm not writing over, like, you know... The question is, do we listen to music or the Elgato? Let's do the Elgato, not desktop music. Because farm music does not mix. So, let's see. We're gonna go female. Keep the skin color. Hair color. All the hair. Do I want the long ass hair? I remember I had this at one point and I was just like, why? Why did I do that to myself? Is this the one I knew? I like that you can rotate yourself so that way you know what, like, you're gonna look like from the back when you're just, like, wandering around. Nope. Because they added in some hair when they did one of the updates. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. And we're gonna go skull shirt. I like the pants. And we're gonna silver earrings. Now, the real choice is which animal we're gonna go with. Because do we want a cat or do we want a dog? Because I like the doggos. But they also added new kitties, and I haven't had one of the new kitties. You know, we're gonna go with this one. I don't remember if this is one of the new cats. Name... Rocks... Farm name. Now, I've thought a bit about what I was gonna name the farm. Because, you know, you don't want it to be something awful. I know I came up with something at one point, but I've totally forgotten what it was. It was like Hope or Honey or Pokemon name. I think I was gonna go with Honeydew. So we're gonna make it Honeydew Farm, because we're gonna have a lot of fruit, which, hooray! My favorite thing, I think we're gonna make it Stardew, because I can't remember what that causes in the game. I know it was something that caused, or did it have to be Stardew Valley? Let's go with Stardew Valley. Can't remember if it's Stardew or Stardew Valley. I think it's Stardew Valley. you have to choose. Now, when I did my first ever save file of, like, Stardew Valley, like, in its entirety, like, overall, I originally did a Riverland farm, because I'm a fishing nut when it comes to these games. So I had a Riverland farm, and I was farming, like, just living on the fish. I didn't do any crops because the Riverland one doesn't have a lot of room for crops. It's just not very, like, crop loving. I've never done the forest farm, or the hilltop farm. They are two things I want to try in my own time because I'm kind of curious about it. Oh wait, have I done the hilltop one? Yeah, I've done the hilltop one because it had the mineral deposits. I've never done the wilderness one. Never felt the need to because that seemed like a pain in the butt. Because I was always trying to, like, plant stuff in that, like, little wingspan before you pass out. And I don't want to have to be dealing with monsters at nighttime. I do at some point want to try Four Corners and a beach farm, but today is not the day, so we're going with standard farm. The eye color is going to be a nice brown. Pants are gonna be a little bit blue, light blue, and the hair color is gonna be a kind of auburny color. Now, we're gonna do the intro because why not? We're not gonna skip it. This is a new save of Stardew Valley. Now, this is my 100% completion attempt of Stardew Valley. Because I've never 100% of this game. I always, like, forget where I am. I always stop playing, and then I just, like, don't finish the game. And so this is my attempt at doing a 100% run of Stardew Valley. Where I get every single cutscene, which means I'm gonna have to marry and then divorce every single marriage candidate in the game. I have to get friendship for all of them. I have to do that scene where you, like, romance everyone in the town and then, like, they all confront you. So I can't marry anyone until I, like, get everyone to date me and then, like, dump me. Because they don't, like, dump you, they just all go back to, like, 8 hearts and you have to, like, get them back to the full hearts again. Like, they go back to the, like, paused friendship amount where they, like, don't, like, it doesn't go down, but it doesn't go up either. I think that's what it does. Haven't actually ever done it, so I'm not entirely sure. Because I always, like, pick someone, and then, like, I hate Emily, so I never give Emily anything. So me and Em are not, in fact, pals. Oh boy. Get all terminated. At Joja Mart. I have much more sympathy for these people now. You're gonna go get some more rest? Yeah, go get some rest. Thanks so much for stopping by, Mikey. I'm gonna be calling you Mikey from now on, because that's the beginning of your... Unless you want me to call you the Shredder. In which case, I can totally do that, but I'm gonna go with Mikey until otherwise. But yeah, you go get some more rest. I'm gonna be here playing Stardew Valley, and all the fun that it is. Because it's been a while, and you know, you gotta get back into the game. But yeah, it also means I have to build one of every single building. I have to get every single item, complete the museum, and get every kind of, like, possible item you can get, and craft one of everything. I may not use it all, but I have to at least have crafted one of everything. Which, special. And then you gotta get one of every fruit. You have to have, like, done all the achievements. Yeah, I'll probably just call you Mikey then. So yeah, it's gonna be, like, a process of me, like, getting through this playthrough, but it'll take a little while. But I'm kind of looking forward to, like, doing it all on the stream and, like, getting one of every single farm animal, having one of every crop, doing all the completion things, because you have to, like, there's, like, a list of achievements to go through. We are not, in fact, doing the Joja Mart run. Okay, I know that there's cutscenes related to Joja Mart that you can only get, I think, like, if you do the Joja Mart run. Don't care. We're not doing the Joja Mart run, never doing the Joja Mart run. I understand that there's some benefits to doing the Joja Mart run, but it's never happening. So we're doing the, like, community center, the slow way run, instead of the, like, easy Joja Mart run. Hey, Flags for Life, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. So if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life. Real connections with other people and nature. So I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed to that place, my pride and joy, Honeydew Farm. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's the perfect place to start your new life. This was my most precious gift of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my dear. Good luck. Love, Grandpa. P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will ya? Yeah, I will definitely say hi to Mayor Lewis, because I know he's still alive, and he's the mayor. So we will go and say hey to him. Now I've also never played this game modded before, so I do want to look into how you do actual modding for this game, and eventually do a save file of a modded Stardew Valley. If my computer can handle it, because special. Because I've seen some really cool, like, mods. Your name's Jenny, what's yours? Mine's Rachel. But you can call me Rox, because that's what I normally go by on Twitch. But, you know, if you want to go with either, perfectly fine. Both of them are, in fact, names I go by. I just go by Rox in a lot of places, like, gaming-wise. Arms right over here if you follow me. Okay. We're following Robin. But yeah, so, like, I've named this one Rox. Most of the time I'll go with Rach on my main save files, unless I'm doing, like, a specific kind of run, where it's like I'm trying to recreate the name of, like, a specific place, which always makes me laugh. I know that I had a bunch of save files where I would named them, like, Brock and Ash and Misty, because I did, like, a river farm, a, like, mountain farm, and I had a, like, generic farm, because Ash is, if nothing else, a smidge generic. There's nothing wrong with him, he's just, like, a tad, like, a little bit of a tad, generic at times. When it comes to certain things, at least when it comes to the Stardew Valley farms, I was like, there's nothing else I can think, like, there wasn't, like, a lightning farm. I didn't want to give him a wilderness farm, because that seemed a bit much, because Ash was technically 10 in the beginning of the Ash, like, the Pokemon series. Okay, yeah, well, we're gonna go and say hey to everyone. The real challenge when saying hi to everyone is finding Sebastian, because he is just a pain. Because he, like, spends all day moping in his room, playing video games. I get it, I understand, I empathize, I live in the same world that he does, but it's just also like, dude. Oh boy, good old Sebastian. Rustic, that's one, yeah, no, it's definitely rustic. Robin doesn't like our house, and that's okay, she's a carpenter, she wants to get money out of us to improve the house. That's what we're gonna do. We're eventually gonna improve the house. We're gonna upgrade it all the way. We're gonna make sure that everything is built. And Robin is gonna get all our money, and it's okay. Now, this is the base farm. So my general plan is to have a couple of barns. It's probably 3. And a couple of, coops. I'm probably gonna do 4 coops. Because I usually have one that's all... at least one that's all chickens, then I have one that's a combination of dinosaurs and void chickens. One is going to be other, which is kind of like ducks, rabbits. I think there's only ducks and rabbits that are the other, with some more chickens. And so I usually have like a kind of a mix. So I'll like have one of void chickens, one of dinosaurs. Sometimes I only have 3. It really depends on where I decide to sit the coops, but I'm gonna have the barn and the coops all in the same zone, and you gotta have the auto catchers, like the auto whatever's inside the coops in the barn, because if you like forget about it for a day, it's just special to go back there and get it. So you gotta have them, because it like collects it all for you, and you haven't, once you get the auto feeders, you don't have to like go in and speak to your animals. Because the animals are a little needy sometimes. Like, I can appreciate you gotta feed them, you gotta keep them alive. It's all good, really. It's always clear and sunny the first couple of days. It's just like this magical zone of like, hey, so we're not gonna help you with like anything. You gotta make sure to go out of your way to do all this yourself. Okay. Boop. Okay. Let's see, we need to make enough space first for, like, crops. And it's gotta be close to the house, but not too close, because if we put it too close to the house, then when we start, like, placing stuff, it's just gonna get dramatic. So, what we gotta do is gotta put it near the house, but not near the house. Rock, rock, and rock. Okay, it's gonna be over here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop. Really, in the first, like, while, you're, like, the first couple of days, you use up basically all of your, like, energy with just watering your crops. I remember one save file I had of Stardew Valley, it was just like, oh hey, so you've used, like, all of your energy for the past, like, 4 days doing crops, and it resulted in, like, once I'd harvested the crops, like, near the end of this, like, I had enough room I could have done 1 more crops in that season. I just went, no, I'm done. I want to do other things than just, like, crop management and let's wander about the town, because I'd have enough energy to, like, maybe get one. It started to get better once I had, like, cows and I was, like, getting their milk, making cheese out of it, and it got like, the beginning part is always rough. The same goes for games like Rune Factory. Rune Factory is very much the same in that, like, it's a bit of a challenge when you first started out. And Story of Seasons, they're all very similar in that respect. They use some kind of, like, stamina related system where it just kind of wipes you out early in game. So you have, it, like, forces you to go and, like, explore the town or, like, meet people, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's kind of like a quest, you know? You have to kind of speak to them for, like, cutscene related purposes. So I think I need, like, 50 wood in order to... yeah, so I think it's 50 wood, so I might try and cut down one of these trees, because that's probably the fastest way to get them. I always seem to have, like, a tree farm, and then I realized, you know, like, the quarry, which you don't get for a little while until you, like, complete the bridge. The quarry is actually, you can actually plant trees in the quarry and in certain areas around town. You just gotta make sure where you plant it isn't a pathway that one of the villagers walks through. Otherwise, for whatever godforsaken reason, it, like, stops you from being able to, like, plant it. It'll, like, dig it up, and you're just like, no, why would you do that? And it just does it. And so you have to, like, live with it just casually destroying the thing you created. Okay, crafting, and that's why I made this. Place. The most important thing in the game. And you place this there because you don't need it. Woo! Alright, that cleaned up our space. And now we're gonna go explore the town. So, with the, like, full completion one, I know that there's certain because I know that with the updates, they, like, added cutscenes for every villager, like, when you married them and got to 14 hearts. I know a couple of them, because from, like, other save, like, playthroughs. Or at least I was trying to look up a couple of them because I was kind of curious what they were, and I was like, I wonder what it is, so that way I can, like, go and make sure I actually get it, like, get the cut through, like, cutscene, and then, like, okay, don't up until 12, that's fine. Let's talk to Sam. Hey Sam, how you doing? Let's go talk to Pierre. And then, like, stopped because I didn't want to get spoiled for what they were, but I was, like, trying to find out the, like, requirements for speaking to him. Now, my favorite marriage candidates have always been, like, Abigail, I think it's Maru, Elijah, and Shane actually grew on me. So a couple of years ago, I did not like Shane as, like, a marriage candidate. He was annoying, he was gruff, I just couldn't stand him. However, he's actually like grown on me. I think it's age. Like, I think it's just like getting older has resulted in me not hating him to the same level as I used to, because I like sympathize, I guess, more. I don't know if it's like just age or maturity that's done it. Now, Evelyn here and George, they're my favorite characters in the game. You can't see them right now, they're behind me. Yeah, we're actually gonna move me because I had a feeling this would be a problem. Okay, webcam, moving. Boop, all the way up here. Alright, so Evelyn and George are my two favorites. I love them. I always try and I grow tulips when it's tulip season just for her. Like, just for Evelyn. I don't grow them for any other reason. Like, I know that they can be helpful with like bees. I don't do it for that. I do it for her. For Evelyn. Okay. Now, cauliflower is the best value, but we need a couple of each of these other things. So I think we need one cauliflower, one potato, and beans. Now, apart from that, let's get a tulip, a kale, and a jazz, because we want to have one of each thing. And we're gonna sell these things. So, do we want to sell the daffodil, or we'll sell the dandelion? And then we're gonna fill the rest of the space up with parsnips. Woo, done. We successfully bought seeds. Now we're gonna see who else we can find today. Out and about in the town. I know that it sometimes takes a couple of days to find all the townsfolk, but the bright side is it easily has it here so you can find all the people you haven't spoken with. It's this helpful little guide inbuilt into the game, because it just don't get me wrong, you have to mod your game out or in on other system, on the PC, if you want to track your people, because there's actually a thing for that. You can track them. Trash. That's fine. I don't need it. Oh wait, there she is. So the bright side is because I've played this a couple times, I can pretty much predict where a lot of these people are now. And I don't really bother listening to their introductory statement of oh, hello, I'm blah blah, and I did blah and blah today. And you're oh, thanks so much, blah blah, I'm blah. How are you doing? And then they're just twiddly-dee potatoes, and they run off. And so I generally, on the first day when I'm just introducing myself, I ignore them, because I don't really need to listen to them. Now, the best thing about the update is this lost book thing, because you used to actually have to have your storage completely empty. You had to have a spot in your storage in order for the books to be sent to the library. It would glitch out and wouldn't let you. So I'd have to run all the way back to my house to drop something off or sell something at one of the local stores, and then come all the way back and be oh look, now you can pick up the lost book for the library. So we also have to find every lost book in the library. Which is probably gonna be one of the more long-winded things to discover. Let's see. Dirt. Okay, we're coming back for you. I love when I don't clean up the pathway in between two places, don't you? Look, it's us. Alright, so let's see. Cauliflower. Potato, bean sprout, tulip, and kale. I like doing the crops, but I'm also just that point where you reach with the crops where you're just I don't want to do. You don't want to do some of the work related to it, or the watering, because it takes so much of your health. I get it. I do. Yeah, I know, I'm starting to feel exhausted. I got it. It's day like whatever. And we're in the zone of we're gonna be tired. So this like watering process is probably gonna take a ton out of us for the next couple of days. Meaning that like apart from this like joyful cropping process, we are not gonna get all this watered. It's just not happening. Look, we are watering slowly. Can we get all the crops watered? No. No, we can't. So, delightful. Ah, I just don't. It's probably the worst, and we don't even get our full health back when we pass out like that. Hate it. Hate it so much. Okay. We're gonna water as much of you as we can. Cool, cool. And then we gotta do the first half. I regret planting those parsnips. I do. I kinda regret it. So all we need to do is water enough of them, then we're gonna go explore. We're gonna see if we can find anything that qualifies as food. Like literally anything. Okay, we gotta make sure this middle part's watered. I can probably do these last 8. But yeah, I play a lot of Animal Crossing, and I'm in the middle of this like build at the moment. Now, something also fun to know about Animal Crossing is you can actually, the foraged items that are all around town, they actually only reset on like Sunday. I mean, you can only get a certain amount of them in like the forest, but apart from that, like they only reset like on certain days, so you can just like leave them be for like a good week and it won't really do anything. I mean, you can only have 5 in the forest, so technically you gotta like do the ones in the forest. It was like there's a certain amount you can only have on like the beach in the forest, so it's got a cap before it'll like stop. But you can just like leave them as long as you remember to pick them up on like the day before the week resets, which I believe is Sunday, but it could be Saturday. So I usually do it on Saturday because I don't want to like miss it. But it like resets each week, and then it's just like, oh, cool. Didn't have to stress about you. Didn't have to worry about you. Could have left it here, but you picked it up anyways. So we're gonna see if there's anything in here that qualifies as food. Currently, we're coming up at a strong no. But we are getting a lot of wild seeds, which is important. The wild seeds can be really helpful once you have the ability to use them. I don't always plant them until like autumn, because until autumn most of the time, you don't even have enough energy to be doing anything like that. You know? But yeah, so I have 2 Animal Crossing islands. One of them is called Cascade, one's called Bremerton. I've had them for ages. Bremerton especially. I made Cascade last year because I wanted to start over with planning, and I wanted a different kind of layout for planning of stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't want to reset my island because I was like really attached to it. I knew where I liked my villagers, and I was still in the middle of a couple of like tasks I wanted to do, which was one of them is still ongoing, which is like getting every villager photo in the game, like every single villager photo that is possible to be given out by villagers. However, with that in mind, I'm like 30, I think, photos in with it. maybe 30 photos. I've like let go of a full set of villagers almost. A bit over that. So it's gotta be less. It's probably closer to 20. Which is fine. And I do happen to enjoy the like process of all the hunting. We're gonna go back to the farm first, I think, and drop this off. Because I have a feeling that the beach, picking up the stuff on the beach, it's gonna be like painful when I have to like decide what is important to take and what I can leave behind. You know, like bag organization. One of the first things we're gonna try and get is like the bigger bag. Because this smaller bag is gonna drive me insane. Now we're gonna keep the food, because I have a feeling that we're gonna need it. These spring onions, in case we have to do anything that requires like digging. But yeah, so they bring in new ones throughout the week, like new foraged items. If you keep picking it up, new ones will appear. But it's got like, because it's got like a cap, but you can still like let it go for like most of the week. Yeah, if you really need to, because you just don't have the bag space. Oh look, it's Haley. Yep, we're that newbie that no one's come looking for. That be us. Woo, a geode! Hooray! Found a geode. Yeah, no, we'll totally take it to him with our 9. Our 9 money. I don't even know what the currency name is. It's like 9G. So later in the game, we're gonna have crops of like berries and stuff, because that's one of the better crops to have on a larger scale. Alrighty, we're gonna go to what's his face? Cookies! Oh my god, why? Alright, we're dropping a... This is the main problem with like the lower bag storage. It's like you don't have any bag space, so you can't pick anything up. You can't sell anything. Like, where is the bag storage? I don't know. Who is she? Bag storage who? Bag storage what? No bag storage for you, honey. Okay, we're dropping you, all you off. Thank you. Okay. We're going back for the cookies. You wanna know why? Those are Evelyn's cookies. We're gonna have Evelyn's cookies, and we're gonna just hold on to them and treasure them, because Evelyn is a dearie, and she's lovely, and we want her cookies. Okay? No one steal her cookies. I know that they're in the trash, but that's because her grandson, Alex, awful person, probably threw them out, because he sucks. He's always just like playing basketball and ignoring like Evelyn and George. Hey George. Today would be Tuesday, so I don't know where everyone in town would be. Because everyone like has a specific schedule for every season with like a couple of weather variations, but realistically pretty much the same. Is Emily in here? As we gotta speak with her. Yeah, I'm not good enough friends with anyone yet. Thank you, game, for letting me know that no one has gained my friendship yet. So I normally try and talk to anyone I see along the way, because it's good friendship points. And if you like gift them, you can gift them a couple times a week, so it's like twice a week. 3 times if you've gifted them before their birthday, and you can also re-gift them again on their birthday. It's kind of like a cheat code, I guess. I'd be like, oh hey, I like wasn't here, you didn't see nothing. Give, like, here's another gift. Teehee, like you can do a 3rd one. I think I'm only missing Pam and Shane now. I think they're both working in Georgia Mart at the moment. They don't finish yet, I don't think. I think they only finish at like 4 or 5. Ah! Found Evelyn. Hey, Evelyn. Well, there's Pam. Now we gotta find Shane. Is he still working in Joja Mart? Aha! Here he is. He's working. Does that count as meeting Shane? I wanna know. Or do we have to, like, find him outside? Yeah, no, that totally counted. So now all we gotta find is Clint, Emily, and the children of Robin and what's his face? Someone Wiley doesn't show up for another couple days. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna see if we can rush into Clint's now, because Clint, here's his workplace. Otherwise, we've gotta wait for him to leave for the bar. No, Clint. Okay, well, we'll either find him in the bar or we won't. It's fine. Nobody panic. Nobody stress out. Clint's my favorite. I'm still upset he's not an actual marriage candidate and he's only like a possible marriage candidate, you know? Like, you have to mod him in to be a marriage candidate. And I hate Emily on pure values of the way she treats, like, Clint. Yeah, no, there you are. Found you. Hey Gus, how you doing? Don't have any money. Hey Pam. So yeah, I generally don't like Emily. I like overall do not enjoy her as like a character. Everyone has a character that they don't like. Mine just happens to be Emily. I don't know what it is about her. It's not like I appreciate her like help with skill related things. I think she like gives sewing tips or something. Something like that. I don't know. Regardless, I appreciate her for okay, we're tossing out the trash. We don't need it. And do I want to eat the cookies so I can pick up the muscle? I want to do it. These two things will still be here tomorrow. Like, because it's only Tuesday. So I think I'm just gonna come back tomorrow and pick it up. Hey, it's Wiley. Hey, Wiley. Okay. So, I think the people we have left are, like, Robin's moody children, who are a pain in the butt to find on anyways. Like, because Mara, she's findable. You can usually find her really easily if she's in the hospital, because in the actual, like, layout thing with all the people, she'll show as being in a nurse's costume. Like, she'll appear as a nurse. Yeah, I know it's closed. Thank you. But apart from that, like, the rest of the time, I think she, like, sits on a couple chairs. She, like, sits up here. She sits down with Penny. And then she, like, mopes in front of her telescope. Or, like, she's with her robot sometimes, like, outside. I wonder if Mara's inside right now. Mara in here? Yeah, Mara's in here. Elijah could be in here, but he could also be in his room. Elijah's a bit of a pain in the butt to find, because until you become better friends with him, he can just like hide here in his room and you can't get inside, because his room is also his workplace. And so sometimes he'll just like hide out in there and you just have to like live with the fact you can only find him when he's outside. Which makes him more of a pain as like a romantic option. However, he is one of my favorites as a romantic option. I don't know why. I don't think it's the mopiness. Just something about his like character. I just like the character. I think it's the emo girl in me from when I was younger. I just liked emo boys. To be fair, a lot of people do, you know, that like mopey, moody, we can save you, like, thing that so many people enjoyed as teens or tweens. Yep, still a thing. Alright, we've got some time left in our day. We didn't eat our food. Thank goodness. So because we found, like, an object, Gunther is probably gonna ask us to stop by and be like, hey, you found something, do you want to give it to me? Kind of like a Blathers from Animal Crossing, but worse. Because, you know, because Blathers is like, oh yeah, this is so cool, like, this is this great thing. And he doesn't give you random junk as a thank you for bringing it in. Whereas Gunther does. Like, some of the stuff is useful. He'll give you, like, melon seeds at random times that are sometimes... He gave me melon seeds once on, like, for this thing I brought in at, like, And it was like 3 days from the end of the season, so I just like had melon seeds on hand for the next season, which, fine. I suppose it's helpful. It wasn't really very helpful to me at the time, though, because I was like, I needed melon seeds earlier. I didn't get melon seeds. I know that some of it's just triggered. It's not actually reliant on Gunther. But it would have been nice if it was more convenient. It just would have been. Fortune teller. They're feeling neutral. We're gonna turn that on, and we're gonna leave. Oh look, it's raining. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go bug Wiley, because I think, yeah, visit the south of town before 5 p.m. It's like 6 o'clock. Cultivate and harvest a turnip. Did he just take one of my turnips? Bastard. I can't even make a scarecrow yet. Crow, you suck. Okay. You burn the crows. It's fine. It's fine. Now, I also, one of the things about Arceus, I like really don't like, because I do actually like a lot about the game. Like the game Arceus, like the Legends Arceus, the new Pokemon one. I like a lot of things about it, like multi-crafting and like being able to craft your Pokeballs and having to, instead of like buying them, like you can still buy them, but you can also craft them, which honestly, I'm surprised has never been kind of like a thing. I mean, not fully surprised because they did start out in the 90s, but like that had never come up before in the couple of last recent games. And the thing is, because of the way Pokemon and Game Freak operates, a lot of the time they'll have these cool functions in them and then they remove them for like the next game. Which makes me sad, because if it's like a cool feature that people really like and then they remove it from the game, you're just like, why? Why did you do this to us? Why couldn't we have just had it, like, the whole time? But unfortunately not the case. So today we're gonna do fishing, because it's raining. I didn't have to water anything, and this is a good way for us to try and get the money we need for bigger bag space, because honestly, bag space is an actual nightmare. Now we're gonna pick up the 2 things on the way out that are needed, because I know we need them for the like crab pot that's part of the community center, which isn't gonna be a cutscene that appears for a couple of days. But whatever, it's gonna be fine. Okay. Now I kind of want to give one of these things to George, because he really likes them. And I like George. We're also going to pick these things up while we're at it and go back to the house to drop all this nonsense off. And then we're going to come back and fish. We got time. His shop doesn't open for like another hour. And we'll sell him one of the clams. Or maybe we'll put it in the, like, the little sale thing, because we need to kind of, because we do have to sell one of every single like findable thing in like that's sellable. So like one of all the fish, one of all the sea creature things you get out of the pots, one of every like crop. You gotta sell, I think, one of every single one of them in the shipping container, as far as I'm aware. Okay, we sold one of each of you. Okay, we're gonna put you in here today as well, because we don't really need it while we're fishing, because that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be fishing. We're not going near any, and I can actually destroy it with the, like, hoe anyways. I can destroy most of them with the hoe, I think. We're not gonna test it out. We're just gonna go fishing. Fishing time. Because we have no money. And we need money for if we're gonna buy more seeds, and we can't wait for like the parsnips to grow for more money. Because I need more storage space, because it's gonna drive me insane. It's the thing that once you've gone from playing like a complete more complete save file of Stardew, and you're like, oh yeah, we got like all this stuff, and we can put it in our pockets, and then you have like 3 storage spaces. I know there's ones where you can make it bigger, and there's like mods, so you can have like, you can put stuff directly into your storage from your pockets. I have never played with these mods. Fish. But I actually really like fishing in most games. Fishing is probably the thing I level up most. Probably, like, anyone who played World of Warcraft with me back in the day, it's been years since I played World of Warcraft. But way back when I did play it, and it was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it, but I spent so much time, like, focusing on the skills. Because I wanted to level up all the skills and, like, get all the achievements in the game. At least on a character. Like, I wasn't concerned about getting it on every character. Not possible. It's really not possible. But I wanted to get it on, like... You know, I wanted to get a fair number of, like, the skills completed, because some of the skills are really hard, and you need, like, higher levels and certain items to finally level it off, but I wanted to give it a solid go. So I did all the ones that were easier, like mining, crafting. Those ones are usually a bit simpler to, like, get completed, because you just gotta, like, find a bunch of ore, hit it a ton to, like, level up. It's a pretty smooth going, like, once you get into it. I know that I was pretty good at, like, leveling up the mining and fishing. The fishing one especially I really wanted, because there was a couple of, like, legendary fish you had to catch in order to, like, fully, like, there was achievements related to it, and there was one in particular that I was like, I'm probably never gonna get it, because it required raiding, it required fishing in like, all of the major cities in Azeroth, and that was both Horde and Alliance. I could understand getting it done on the Horde characters, but it just wasn't possible at one point with the Alliance ones, because the Horde outnumbered us. So much so. And if you're playing PvP, like, player versus player, it just wasn't possible after a certain point to get into them. There used to be raids that they do on, like, the major cities, and you just had to kind of, like, wait it out. Like, you'd get killed if you were low enough, and then you just, like, wait it out for the raid to be over, and the NPCs to all regenerate, because the NPCs were pretty high level, but you could, in fact, kill them if you were high enough leveled. It was technically possible. I'm just getting a ton of seaweed. To be fair, seaweed is useful. You do need seaweed for some of the, like, crafting items, because I do want to try and make a bunch of, like, fish ponds. Because they can be really useful. The fish ponds, there's a couple of fish in particular that I like making as fish ponds, because what they give off is very good for making into, like, materials, not just for money, but for, like, other crafting related things. So there's, like, a squid I would do. There's a couple of type of fishes. I do have to look up which ones I did last time, so I can do the same ones, because I did really like the combination I had going. A couple of the fish are a little harder to find, and you can technically get the fish out. Again, like the ones you put into it, you just have to, like, catch them. You just have to catch back your fish. So it's not that bad. It's just, like, a bit of a process. So this should give us maybe a couple of hundred, which is good for, like, a day of, like, fishing. And then consider... We're gonna do this a couple of times. Maybe see if we can find a catfish. Catfish are a humdinger. So we're gonna give it a try. Try and catch catfish. Can't guarantee we're gonna catch catfish though. Let's see. Yeah, a couple hundred. That's good. So what I need to do is I need to craft a second chest and bring it down here to the pier. I used to do this way back. I usually might leave a couple chests around, so I'll have one outside the blacksmith, one outside, like down near the fishing like place. And then you'll have like one somewhere in town. You just gotta make sure it's in a spot that people don't walk through. Because otherwise all your stuff gets dropped on the ground, and if you don't pick it up the day after it's all been dropped on the ground, I think Lewis, they put a lost and found in, so Lewis will now pick up all the stuff from the lost and found, like that's on the ground, as lost and found, but it's still a bit of a pain because you do lose the chest, which is still 50 wood. So it's nothing to like sniff at. But I do really like the raining days because they're good fishing days where you can get a couple of hundred extra and like get up some experience that you wouldn't normally get. So that was a catfish. That was 100% a catfish. I can't remember how much the next bag level is. I think it's only 1,000. It could be 10,000. I don't think it's 10,000. Treasure chest. Okay, fishy. Here we go. I like getting the treasure chest because you never know when it's going to be something useful. You know, like, I once did a treasure chest and it was like a dinosaur egg. Like, I'd never seen one before. And I wanted to cry because I was like, what is this? I didn't sell it, thank God. I like stored it. And then I grew it into a dinosaur, and then the next egg I was like, oh look, a dinosaur, and I just like put it out there. But, you know, dinosaur eggs. They're a pain to get in this game. They used to be a bit easier because there was a couple of hacks you could do. You just had to like wait for either the money to buy the catalog and then do it that way, because you had to like buy a specific wallpaper and put it into the coop as a specific name, or you could do a chicken egg and you could just name it a specific thing and put it into the coop and like bam, dinosaur. But those things got coded out, unfortunately. So, but they also put in like a dinosaur level into like the mine, which I suppose has a use, I guess? Okay, so we need a couple of these fish, I think, for the community center. So here's the problem with some of the fishing is that, like, you need some of the items for, like... Who haven't I introduced myself to? 27 or 28? Who's the 28? Clint. Why, dude? Does he come into the bar? I know he comes into the bar some days. I know he does it. He does in fact go have a drink. I'm positive of this. This was an activity he did. I know because on days where it rained, he would walk through me. Alright, tomorrow the goal is we're gonna go and speak with Clint. Okay, we're gonna wait outside the shop for it to open at 9 AM and we're gonna go bug him and be like, oi, Clint, open up, we're saying hey, this is us, like, meeting up and chatting, like, get used to it. Oh, like, with Arceus as well, I always really liked how they incorporated, like, requests and missions. Like, because you had to, like, complete the Pokedex yourself with, like... But even once you completed the research task, if you completed any of the extra tasks on it, it's still counted as research points. Okie dokie, we're gonna keep one of you, one of each you. Okay, we're selling you. So we're gonna make a second chest for just like items that are needed for the community center. Because that's what we need. We need a second chest just for that. Because we're gonna get a bunch of things that are gonna need to be put into it. And I don't want to accidentally sell it. You know, it would be, like, I'd cry a little if I accidentally sold what I needed to put into it, you know? Okay. Now we're gonna plant these again. I think I'll plant these over here and you over here. Cool. Cool. Oh wait, I don't have my scythe on me. Never mind. Scythe, come here, boy. There you go. Scythe. Oop, there it is. I'm just gonna clear these out because I knew that the minute I go to, like, clear them out, it's gonna be like, oh look, you killed your tree that you planted. Congratulations. Happy Hanukkah. Well done to you. Gesundheit. I'll just be like, oh goody, I'm so glad I killed the tree I planted. It's just like my wildest dreams. Boop, boop, boop. Plus, I gotta clear the way to the greenhouse. I like when we get the greenhouse. It's like a moment of just like planning. But then you need like all these iridium things. Pokemon had a graphics update? I mean, if you mean like Arceus, did it have an update like recently? I wouldn't know about that. Like, I didn't see anything for it. But the graphics in... So, the graphics are more like realistic and like Breath of the Wild-ish looking in Arceus. But when you look at the game, it kind of glitches in and out a lot more than Sword and Shield did. Like, you'll be looking at the game, and I was doing this earlier, I was looking at Arceus, and it was like glitching out entirely, this like tree, and I was just like, what's going on? It was just like I was focusing on a Pokemon in the foreground. Oh, am I? Oh, I thought I was still in, I swear I was under Stardew Valley. Seriously? Didn't change it? Thank you for letting me know. Thank you so much. I swear I changed it. I like saved it, I double checked it, I double checked it in here. It's still, Streamlabs is, if nothing else, not a gift. Streamlab was just like, haha, you thought you changed it. Joke's on you. You didn't. They are both awesome games. I was just complaining about Arceus and it's like pop in, pop out, to be fair. Because even though I do like where it's gone, like the update it's kind of been going through, I have a couple of issues with like some of the graphic changes. Like, I don't know if it's what's causing the like pop in, pop out that it's been having. Yeah, Twitch is a little weird about it. Sometimes, like, I don't know if it's, like, it registers in one system, but it just doesn't register in the other, and so they, like, keep it. I've had it happen a couple times where I've, like, loaded into one game, but it's still shown one from a previous stream, and I'm just like, why? why do you hate me? But yeah, I do really like Arceus, and I was playing it earlier. To like make a save file for stream up to a point where I was at in a previous save that I had kept playing in. I just don't get why it pops in and out. Like, Breath of the Wild didn't have the same kind of like graphic issue. Because the thing is, I would have understood it if maybe the system just isn't built to hold a lot of things graphically. If it's just like the texture is too much for the Switch. Unfortunately for them, I've seen games like Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and Sword and Shield, which all had huge graphical landscapes, like huge landscapes that just didn't, like, they loaded in all as one thing, and they didn't like drop in and out like when I was walking up to, like, I'll be walking up to grass and the grass will pop out of nowhere, and like the Pokemon will appear out of nowhere, like they pop in. I don't know if it's my Switch, because I haven't been watching other people's like Pokemon playthroughs. I really do want to sit down and watch someone else's stream of Arceus to see if it's also happening to them. But it's kind of annoying. Like, I'm just a little annoyed by the fact it's like popping in and out like that. Nothing else really to say about it than that. I think those are all the ones. No, not that. The truth is that Breath of the Wild cycles through like 10 different enemies, and Pokemon Arceus is having these problems because there's... Yeah, it did occur to me that they fixed it slightly in Sword SWSH because it wasn't fully open world. Yeah, because I know that even though Sword and Shield has like areas that are like open world, they're not like... It's not like fully open world, it's like partially. And they have all these areas that are kind of like fixed and you can't go into all the buildings. Whereas in this one you kind of can. Like, there are still like doorways that are like not non-rooms. They're just like graphically the look of a door, but they're not actual rooms you can go into. I just wonder about why it's caused it. Like, I get Pokemon occasionally, like the odd thing flashing in and out, but I'll be like 10 meters in front of me, I will step forward one step and like an entire Pokemon will appear out of nowhere. It makes it a little hard to like hunt down specific ones in an area, because I was trying to hunt for a Pichu on my main save file. Dear God, it was a pain to try and find it because it's so tiny. It's like really, really tiny. And it just like appears out of nowhere when that happens. Like, I'll be walking through and then like kapoof, it appears and it runs away. Like, it's one of the skittish ones. So I have to like redo that. And the Pichus are kind of rare in the first area. Like, you can find them, but they're rare-ish. It took you a whole day to find... Oh no. Yeah. Some of the Pokemon, because they're both skittish and small, and the way it pops in and out, it's just an issue that Arceus has. And it's no hate. Like, making a game this intense with this much extra put into it, I do appreciate what it is, and I have been enjoying Arceus so far and what goes into it. I'm just like, the popping in and out takes me out of the game a bit, which is unfortunate. Like, I wouldn't be as upset if it didn't constantly take me in and out of, like, the immersion of the game. I don't know. It's just like a I know it's just a nitpick that I have with it. Because a lot of the games I play don't have that issue. To be fair, it does. Some of them do heat up my Switch a little bit. I know Breath of the Wild does, and it, like, kills the battery, but it's just, like, a concern I have. But I know that the next console, they will try and, like, probably get better graphics for it. Because the thing is, the Switch is now, I think it's nearing on 4 or 5 years, because I know that they'll probably try and extend it for a while, because it's very popular. They have a lot of games that are still coming out on the system. And they want to capitalize on the fact it's so popular. So my personal thought is that they're not going to release, like, a fully new system. They might try and do what they did unsuccessfully with the Wii U for the next system, which is like, it has all the same like game cartridges, because every single new rendition of their system has new game cartridges. Like, all of them. They had to like make specific ones from the game, like that had Game Boy slots in them. The Wii U was probably the exception because it also used Wii discs. So I'm hoping that when they make a next one, I'm hoping that they'll like keep the same cartridges so that way you can use the Switch cartridges in whatever the new system is. Because I'd be kind of upset if like you couldn't play any of the like it wouldn't make sense for people like if you bought all these games or to keep buying games on the old system if there's a new one. Like it just realistically makes very little sense. So it's been around for a long time. Go away, Crow! Buzz off! Okay, can I make a scarecrow yet? Please tell me I can make a scarecrow. I can't? Well, stop eating my turnips. My parsnips. That crow has literally eaten 40 gold. Like, 40 gold. Like, literally. Eaten 40. I wanna cry. I hate it. I hate it so much. The crow's gonna make me cry. 3DS games are still $50. Yeah, they haven't gone down, and it's not like you can play them on the Switch. They're still pretty expensive. Like the main ones. The third-party ones are cheaper, and the thing is, you can't even put money directly on the 3DS anymore. What you have to do is you have to put money on the Switch or online, and then use that money on your 3DS. You can't actually like directly put funds onto your 3DS on the 3DS eShop anymore. They like took away that feature. Who knows why, but they did. So you have to like go look around for it. Which kind of ticks me off. It is ridiculous. Like, if you're gonna still support a system, even if you're not releasing games on it, if you're gonna at least support it, allow people to put money on it, on the actual system. Like, I understood with the Wii U, it was a different currency they operated under, so you, like, bought a currency on the system that, like, you bought stuff with. And now you can't buy anything on the Wii U shop anymore at all? Like, you physically can't buy anything on it? But, like, it cannot be, it's not the same for, like, the 3DS. The 3DS uses just money, like, the currency of money. It doesn't have, like, a buy this currency. It's not Ubisoft with their ridiculous, like, U-Bucks that you buy, and you're like, oh yeah, I have, like, this many U-Bucks, and I, like, use it to buy items in, like, the shop, and you have to buy them from PlayStation. And the thing is, you have to buy them on the console. Because I bought it on, like, the app on my phone, and it physically, like, it didn't register that I bought them. It was a whole thing. They just want to save money by just, yeah. I know that you can't actually get some of the older DS ones fixed anymore. Like, you can't get them fixed, so you have to, you can only get up to the 3DS XL still fixed. That's the last one you can get fixed. You can't get any of the other ones fixed anymore. No wait, you can also get the 2DS XL. So you can get the 2DS XL and the 3DS XL, but if you have, like, just the the previous versions of it, previous to the new, like, the new XLs, like the last bunch that came out, anything before that, you can't get them fixed. It's not possible anymore. You either have to go to some kind of, like, offshoot that'll, like, fix them, like some kind of tech place that'll help you fix them, because there is still tech shops around that will fix them for you. You just gotta find them. Like, I know in the US they'll have, like, gaming shops that specialize in fixing consoles. So you have to find something that specializes in fixing consoles, because the actual company doesn't support it anymore. So yeah, no, it's super, it's super not great. So yeah, if you want, like, any of that stuff fixed, good luck. It's why I want desperately for a couple of games that I played a lot on the 3DS XL, and I still have on the system, to be brought over to the Switch. They've brought a couple of them over, but not a couple of the ones I really, really want. Okay, so I have a rock. Delightful. But yeah, so it's just a bit of a hassle to like have it happen continually. I get it that it's for like money reasons. I do. But I just want that if they make a new system, you can keep the cartridges. Because I've bought a lot of games for the Switch. And if they use a different kind of cartridge again, because I understand these chips are a bit expensive to like get, buy, make, and put games onto. Plus, it's a bit expensive to get the like higher amount ones, which is why some games just haven't been brought to the system, or they're digital download only, like the Assassin's Creed ones. You'll get one on the actual card, and then you have to like go get the other one elsewhere. Just cause. Like you have to download it from the eShop. Like it'll give you the download, like you own it down digitally from that, but you have to download it. Or it'll like come with a code that you have to punch in to like claim ownership of it. So if you buy those games pre-owned, you may not get the like code with it to actually get the other game digitally. Yeah, there's a couple of games that are like digital download only. So when you buy them pre-owned, all you're doing is buying a code that no longer works. Or you're buying the box. Which is why certain game companies, for like shops, you know, like the resellers or ones that sell pre-owned games, certain games they just won't buy. Because they're like physically the games don't like exist in the cartridge the case anymore. It's all around ridiculous. So, but Game Boy, like Nintendo's always been like that. They had a similar issue, I think, with one of their other older systems. One of the ones that had like these big, thick cartridge things, because everyone else had switched over to discs. Because discs were cheaper, easier to make, more people made them. It was just like realistically easier. Nintendo didn't go the same route. They went these like chunky discs route. Which, fine, I ain't gonna judge, but they went that route with it. And as a result, they were one of the few they were more expensive than their competitors. I know that PlayStation had a similar issue because they like put in like Blu-ray systems and like other stuff, and they made their system, the PlayStation 3, so much more expensive, which is why Xbox kind of had a bit of a leg on them for like a generation. So when PlayStation 4 came out, they just like abandoned the PlayStation 3 because they were just like, no. That thing never sold us anything, never made any money. Most of the time people only buy it because it was backwards compatible with the PlayStation 2. So most of the people who bought it only bought it after they stopped making PlayStation 2s. Like, that was one of the main... And you had to get one of the older PlayStation 3s. You couldn't get one of the newer ones, because they took that out of, like, the last couple of years worth of PlayStation 3s to make them cheaper. They're all discs to me. It doesn't make any sense why they're not compatible across multiple generations. Like, I get it when it's like cartridges are different, because Nintendo uses different kind of cartridges every single generation. I think there's only been like 2 that were CDs, like discs. It was like the Wii U, the Wii, and I think I don't remember if the GameCube had cartridges or it was a disc. But all the others use like weird cartridges. Like the Game Boy had those like brick ones. The Switch has the like little cards. The 3DS has these like little cartridge things that these are the ones for the 3DS. And the DSs are basically those, but without the little nook on the side. little sense to me. I don't know. So it's just like thoughts I have about it, because I'm curious to know, because I know a lot of gaming YouTubers and stuff whose like jobs, like full-time jobs, are like gaming stuff, and they're like hyped for the next system. The reasons they keep changing the cartridge and discs is privacy, I think. Yeah, it could be. It could be privacy related reasons. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the reason. I mean, but it can be a little frustrating. Oh, you mean piracy, right. It's all just inconveniencing customers. Yeah, it's kind of the way car companies started making their parts last less time. And it was actually one of the reasons that a lot of car companies went with gasoline over electric, because the parts didn't last as long. And you had to replace them more often, and gasoline actually corrodes the actual parts over time, and gasoline over electricity was more expensive, would like cost the customers more, and at the time there was like a huge abundance of gas, so it just like overall made sense to go the route of gasoline for a lot of the businesses, because it was like, oh yeah, we can just go money. Nowadays there's actually some companies in some countries looking at how they would go about making everything electric. Which, you know, it's a cool idea, and I like the idea that a lot of companies might go full electric. Or like there's companies devoted to making electric cars anyways. It's a bit of a hard thing, because you have to try and figure out how they're gonna recharge them, whether or not it's through like coal with electricity that you like put into the car, and having stations around that'll like absorb it and making sure it holds the charge and gets enough charge. Plus, you can't go on long distance trips unless places along the way are built for like electric cars as well. So you have to be able to like sustain it over, depending on if you do a lot of long trips. If you only do short trips, then it doesn't really matter too much. But I know there is more of a push towards it. Which is good. Probably like environmentally anyways, because I know gas has had a bit of an effect. I'm not an expert by any means on like environmental stuff, but I know listening to someone who knows a bit about what's going on like with the UK, and that the UK was looking at it, I think, like looking at going more down the electric route just for like long term. Which kind of interests me, because I know that here we had issues around like solar panels, and there was like originally a lot of electric cars used solar panels, I think, to recharge, like some of the older models. Well, like when I say older, like some of the newer old models, like when it started to come back out again. You know, it's all kind of a process. We'll see how it all ends up in the end, where it all will sit. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious what the next one will be, because they had one successful home console, they had one unsuccessful home console, which in part was likely because of the name. They had a couple other successful home consoles previous to like the DS and Game Boy era, but their main like thing has been like handheld consoles for the past couple of generations, and I don't think they'll want to like abandon that, because it's a good financial like investment to go that way. Yeah, and you mean it as a full-on console, they have to compete with Xbox and PlayStation? They're the ones holding them off. Yeah, because, like, PlayStation has basically abandoned the handheld market. Oh, we're gonna try for one more fish. Yeah, but they've basically, like, abandoned it with the PS Vita. There was talks of them to bring it back, but I think some of the problems the PS Vita had, because I remember listening to someone talking about it on a podcast, who knows a bit more about the tech side of things. They were saying that one of the main issues, because SD cards are really cheap, right? And SD cards was one of the main, like, memory systems. PlayStation made it so you could only use their proprietary, like, SD cards, the ones that they specifically made that have, like, PS Vita, like, in order to work in the system, whereas Nintendo made it so that way you can put in any SD card to make the size of the system however big you want. Like, I have a terabyte one in mine. Works perfectly. A lot of people have the bigger ones. But PlayStation, you had to buy theirs specifically, and it was like 3 times the price of every other SD card, which was ridiculous. And then all their games were a bit more expensive. There wasn't a ton of games coming out for it. There was some, but a lot of them were like only coming out of Japan at one point. So there was still a market for it in Japan, as far as I'm aware. But I don't know a ton about it, like, outside of that. Because my understanding is that... So yeah, like, I know PS Vita got, like, discontinued a couple years back, and they, like, completely stopped making games for it for the West. Before that, they were only making ones for Japan. And then I know that, like, there was some issues around it related to that. So they, like, I get them, like, abandoning, but it does mean that, like, overall Nintendo has a control over the handheld market, and they wouldn't want to abandon it. Like, I get they kind of have it with the, like, the 2DS, like, the little tiny ones. But I think that going into the future, if they want, like, success long term, they're gonna try and find a way that they can still do both. Like, even if it's, like, something that you can connect to, like, something that you can connect to the actual, like, main handheld system, so you can, like, connect it somehow. So they're probably gonna keep working, like, doing the Switch, releasing other versions of the Switch until they figure out whatever that next step is. You know, if it's something like some connecting thing. Yes, I see this cat here. Yeah, cool. We're gonna name the cat, but they're kind of like Wii and Wii. Yeah, kind of like the Wii and Wii U, but, like, imagine, like, the Wii, but, like, you can have, like, a connected system that you can connect into it, and you can use the memory from that system. But you can only use certain games when connected to, like, the main hardware thing. Like, the graphics get downgraded when you're not connected to it. Like, some kind of way to connect the two. Of, like, having the power of, like, a bigger hardware. Like, a mini, like, the normal consoles, but also having, like, the ability for portability. Like, I don't know if that's a possibility, or if they're just gonna have, like, a handheld version and, like, a system, the way they did with, like, the 3DS and the Wii U, where they had, like, the 3DS going for all the handheld games, and they were releasing games on it, but they weren't as powerful. So maybe they'll do that with, like, the Switch and whatever other console they come out with. You know, have, like, the Switch line of consoles that are the handheld ones, and then have, like, a home console that, like, you can use the same games on it, that you can even attach your account to play the same games from your handheld one. But, like, there's some games that you could only play on the, like, the home console. Like, I don't know if that's a route that they may go with it, of making, like, some games, like, console only. Because I know there's some games that on the other one we have, where it's, like, the all-one system, some of them actually have, like, separate Joy-Cons required if you have that, like, the one that's like all one system. Yeah, we're gonna adopt the cat. And we're gonna call Miso. So like I'm kinda thinking that they may do something like that, some way of trying to keep them connected but separate. Because there's some games that just chug a little when they're on the Switch. Just a smidgen. Yeah, we're not joining JojaMart. Thank you for the request. Boop, boop. All the parsnips. Can you hear it? All the parsnips. I need to buy parsnips. God damn it. I forgot about it. Okay, so what we need to save is the golden parsnip, one of these, and we're gonna keep 5 parsnips. Just for our own personal usage. And then we're gonna sell the rest of them to Harvey. Where did he go? Miso, come back here. This cat is going to be the death of me. Do you play vanilla? Do you mean like vanilla Stardew Valley or like vanilla something else? Because I'm playing unmodded, so technically this is like, I guess the like base one? Yeah, I mostly play like without mods. I've been told of mods. So I do know some of the mods, and I watched a thing of like cottagecore mods, and I do watch a lot of modded Stardew Valley, but I don't play a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of people do play with mods, and I like watching modded playthroughs. I do. Because some of them are really cool and interesting, and like things you would never see, like otherwise. Especially, I know that my favorite ones that I've seen are the ones that are like the diversity mod, and the the extra big one where it has like extra areas and story to it. And then some of the cottagecore ones where they change the look of all the buildings to be this kind of like cottagecore kind of look. Those ones are really cool. Yeah, no, it makes them chug, which is why I'm like, there's a couple people in it who do stream it, but they have to have a separate PC just for streaming. They actually like, some of them will do it because they like play so many PC games, and they just need a separate PC just to do like, just to kick the stream out into the world. So it only has like stream elements on it and like the stuff that their stream requires. So, like all the stuff for their stream is on like a separate computer than their gaming computer. Yeah, Stardew Valley expanded. Yeah, I was watching, the one I was watching, it had the list of, this like video I was watching on it, it had a list of like the Stardew Valley mods that they had on there. Some of them are really cool. It was like ones around changing the grass, like recoloring buildings that were being changed, like Spanish medieval and like enchanted gardening. There's a couple ones for like changing, like adding in interior furniture, and like certain ones around like animals and outfits, and like I know there was one that I saw that was like changing stuff into like fairies, like a fairy look for the town. It was not really cool, but I can imagine it would make the computer chug and just like hate you forever. So it's not something that I think I could do while also streaming it on my computer, because I don't know whether or not my PC would like it. It's like the time that I actually had my VPN on. So it was thinking I was in the US and I was streaming and it was like constantly dropping out. I was like, what's happening? And I looked back at it afterwards and it had me like in the server for North America. So it was trying to stream my stream through my VPN to North America and then output it, and oh boy, did my computer hate me. Oh. See, here's the thing. I will never do the... I know on PlayStation, there's actually an achievement for doing the JoJo Mart run as well as the normal run for the community center. I've never felt the need to do the JoJo run. I've never felt it. As someone who's now worked in a company, I don't want to be a cock and I don't want to support JoJo. It would require a certain amount of incentive for me to do a JoJo run, but I've never felt the inclination to go out of my way to do it. You ever run 4K hours in this game, it starts to get boring, and sometimes you add more and more mods, the PC would implode if you streamed single JoJo Mart quest done. Yeah, you should be proud of that. You should be proud of the fact you haven't done any JoJo Mart runs in like 4,000 hours. I'm at somewhere around like maybe 2,000. This is one of my top played games. It's after Animal Crossing, but it's one of my most played games. There's like a list of a couple games that are my like top played. Actually, what are my top played games? Out of curiosity. But longest playtime, because I know this resets. So my longest ones are like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Hades, Nexamon. Dear God, Nexamon, Eastward, and then like Arceus. But this does reset, so I do know that Breath of the Wild used to be in one of my top most played, but it hasn't been in a while. Because they have this feature with Nintendo that it resets after like a year or two. I don't think it does anymore, but it did initially. Like the first year, it reset. This is not a game for capitalism, it's such a culture shot. Yeah, whenever someone does I watch someone do a JoJo run, and I had a little panic. They like went to JoJo to buy something, like to buy the membership. To be fair, they did wait a while, so they like did all the achievements except one inside of like the community center to get the items. So they like went around, got all the items, and then did the JoJo run, and like bought it. And there was a glitch at one point for the JoJo run, so you could glitch your way through the JoJo run. I don't know if you still can, or if they like wrote it out with the big update that happened. But at one point you could like give an orange. It was like this thing of like inside the bar. If you gave Gus like an orange or something, it was something related to that. Okay, go back inside, because if we don't go back inside and look at the little scroll over here, the wizard won't send us a letter for us to go to the Emerald City. I did really like one of the mods where it was like added story of like Abigail and the wizard, like the wizard being Abigail's real father. I mentally added into the game anyways. I'm just like, yeah, they're related. Like, duh. But without it, it's just like, so they're related? Question mark? But I always essentially just like relate them. How much is this bag? 2,000. Okay, that's not too bad. So I can get there. Sold. Cool. Alright, we're gonna buy 20 parsnips. Not 30 parsnips. Because I'm feeling... We're gonna buy 2 lots for the parsnips. We'll buy some more parsnips and cauliflower. We need to get some more potatoes though. So next goal after we plant some of these, we're not planting all these at once. I'm not a crazy person. I don't need my entirety of my energy every day to go to watering for the first season. I'm not a mad woman. But oh boy. But I do know that some people do get bored with this game. Like realistically, it can get a little repetitive if you don't like do something. So I get it. I do. When people like go another route and are just like, yeah, no, we like did a bunch of mods. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see why. Because you know, if you play enough of this game, and you play it often enough, it's easy enough to have that happen. I haven't, Usually that's because I restart every once in a while, so once I get to a certain point and I like unlock a bunch of things, so I'll do ones where it's like I'm trying to just unlock everything in the museum, or ones where I'm trying to just unlock everything like the community center. And so once I've done that, I like reset the game. And then I'm just like, kabam, done. You always sped through first spring and race to get as many strawberries as possible. Yeah, I've kind of done that once, and it was just like I wanted to see. I did a run where I was like, I wanted to see how many crops I could get, like complete all the crops for. Because there's one where it's like sell like 300 of one crop, and like you have to sell a certain amount of every single crop. And so I did a run where it was like just see if I can get this many of all the crops. It took a while to do. It took me like 2 years of the game, and then I was like, I'm bored, and I reset. I don't have a high like patience or memory for things sometimes, which is why I'm just like, essentially this is my like full completion run. So I don't know if I'll keep it once I fully completed. I might. I might not. But I'm gonna do a full completion run where I fully complete the farm. Do complete everything. I'm going to get everything. I'm gonna marry every single person in the game. I'm gonna get every cutscene, including the one where they're all mad at you because you're dating them all at the same time. That's my goal because I've never seen it. We're gonna see it. Including it'll require me to give a care about Emily. But we will not do Emily's cutscenes until after we get Clint's cutscenes, because Clint is amazing and we need his cutscenes. There's a couple of cutscenes that I've seen, and so we may not... I made the choice that we're not gonna probably get Alex's one where you're like romantically involved with him before his dad shows up. Oh boy. So we're gonna try and get Alex's, like, romantic cutscene. The problem with Alex is that, like, not Alex's, Sam's, is I've only seen it once, and that's the only reason I know it exists. You wish you had SDV on your Switch too, it seems so chill. Yeah. It is pretty chill to have it on my Switch, so I have it basically everywhere. I have it on my like Switch, I have it on my PlayStation, I have it on my PC. Because it's only like 20 bucks. And like it's a really not an expensive game, and it's got a lot of content to it, and all of its updates are like free. Like they're not like charged for ones. So I have it on all my systems, because I got the systems, so I'm like, why not? I also have Civilization 6 on all of them, which was much more expensive. Considering the game. It's now cheaper, so I think if I'd waited to buy it on a couple of them, I could have gotten it much cheaper than before. Oh well, you live and learn. I might do that if they do a Civilization like 7. I might wait a bit. So you can actually do them on the consoles. Like, there's an actual tab in the start menus for, like, mods, ? And as far as I'm aware, you can't actually mod them on the consoles. Like, people have tried. I've tried looking up to see whether or not it's possible. But as far as I know, you can't. You gotta play vanilla. Which, you know, I get it. Nintendo's very a little special about that stuff. Yeah, you can't do modded, as far as I'm aware. Like, you can check. I know there is, like, a actual tab thing for it on the main page with Switch. But as far as I'm fully aware, you can't do it. Fish. We're gonna go bug Willy, because it's Friday. It's Friday. So, with Sam, I think we're gonna give it a go to see if I can get the, like, his special cutscene for before his dad shows up, because I think all that's needed for it, because I'm actually kind of curious what's the requirement for it. So, let's see. Okay, let's see. Sam has one that's like 2 hearts, I think, from before his dad shows up. Don't believe he has anything other than that. Villagers. Sam. Cutscenes. So he has a 2 heart one, which happens no matter what. Okay. So he has one that you need to be 3 hearts for in any season except winter, and it only happens in year 1. So we may or may not be able to get this one, but we're gonna give it a try. Hey there, Gaming with Boss 4536. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Bear Cave. Hope you're having a lovely day. Evelyn's my fave. Where's George? I'm gonna go talk with George. I notice you. I see you. Hey, it's going pretty good, you know? Just playing some Stardew Valley in this, now that I'm in the right category, as I apparently was in the wrong one for like an hour. It was almost an hour, I think, at the time that I was in the wrong one. We're gonna check all the bins. But yeah, it's just a super day. Hope you're having a good day. I'm just, working my way through. How many hearts do I have with Sam? I don't think I have any. So we're gonna figure out what it is he likes and start gifting him. Because if we want to get it, we have until winter, the beginning of winter, to get Sam's 3 heart. So we have until then. You're right, just finished fixing your project car. Is it like a physical car or like a... Because I know that there's little tiny cars, model cars, or is it like a big like a big car? I don't know much about cars as a baseline. I know that they work. All my knowledge from it comes from the people I've dated who knew something about cars, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a car, and I'm like, yeah, cool. The way I am with cars is the same way I am with phones. It's I got a new phone, and someone was like, what kind of phone do you have? And my answer was black. Because it was a black phone. So that's how much I know about both of these things, the hardware of it. I know that they run. I do in fact have my learner's license. I can technically drive one. Technically. But that's about where my knowledge of me kinda ends. Well, it happened once. I was I kept my old number from a previous phone onto a new phone, because I've had the old number for a while. And my ex messaged me and he was like, hey, you got a new phone? That's really cool. What kind of phone is it? And I was just like, black. Oh, poor guy. He didn't know what he was entering into. This antithesis. I'm doing automatic because I tried manual, and it was very stressful. I've tried driving both, but because of something to know about where I live, there's a lot of hills. This is a very hilly place in the world. A lot of the city is hills, and so the idea of driving a manual through all of that and stalling on as many hills as there are in this city, big hills. These aren't small hills, these are big hills. It just makes me want to cry. On the inside. There's nothing wrong with people driving. I have a friend who learnt manual and drove manual here, and she once she got on her opens, or like once she got off like having to be in a manual car, they sold the manual and she just drove automatic. Like once she got into her like full opens lesson, she was like, I'm done. And she just like sold the car. Cause you just don't want to have it here with all these hills. Yeah, you could not drive a manual in this city. This city is a nightmare for manuals. It's possible. There are people who do it, but they're crazy people, and a lot of them. The problem is if you stall, and you will. We also do roundabouts here a lot instead of like lights everywhere. So I know in the US they do a lot more like just straight lights. Like street lights, we have a lot of like roundabouts. And like not small roundabouts, like big 2-lane roundabouts that you have to like stop, start, signal, switch lanes through to get out ones. On a manual, that sounds like hell. Imagine stalling on a big roundabout that's 2 lanes that you gotta drive around. And the thing is, half of the time you'll either be coming down a hill or going up into a hill on the roundabout. So you have to have enough speed going to get up the hill. Yeah, roundabouts are common in like the UK and like a lot of countries that, you know, were connected with the Commonwealth in some way. They're not super common from my memory in the US. Just quite easier only at first. Yeah, I don't know. There's this one in particular that's near me, and it's got a pillar, this huge pillar in the middle, because a highway goes across it over the top. It's 2-lane, it's really busy, it has a bus depot right near it, and it's got the 4 entry points for it, and there's one road that comes down a hill, one road that goes up a hill, and the other 2 are a throughway into the highway and off a highway. Nothing makes me want to go on this and drive through this roundabout, ever. Not on automatic, not on manual. I never want to drive on this roundabout, ever. Just as, like, a basis. Never go into third. You never go into third, and if anything, you always on the brakes on a roundabout. Yeah, I know plenty of people who are very confident in roundabouts, and I'm happy for them. I think I need is this a sardine? I think I need a second sardine for someone's tasks. Pray for me that there's no crow or that I get the crafting recipe. Thank God. Scarecrow. It's driving me nuts. I needed to, like, have a crop. Yeah. I've stalled on 3 roundabouts, so I've driven them, but I've stalled on 3. They're not terrifying. They're just not fun. Thankfully, when I stalled on them, no one was there to watch it. Except my, like, driving instructor. But, you know, I prefer roundabouts, I think, to a lot of streetlights. Okay, how do we make a scarecrow? Because that's what we need, a scarecrow. We need 50 wood, 1 coal, and 20 fiber. I have the wood. No, I don't. Okay, bring water, and then we're gonna get the wood needle. Oh boy. You've stalled multiple times? Yeah, I think it's kind of like a rite of passage of anyone who drives, like, a manual. That, like, you do it. Unfortunately, one of the testing areas for driver's license is in this area called Paddington, and it's hugely hilly, like lots of these big ass hills, and it is notorious for you having to redo your driver's license. Like, it is a notorious failure place. It is rare for people to get it on their first try out of Paddington. And the thing is, I happen to believe that most drivers should get failed the first time unless they are very, very confident in driving, have done a lot of experience, and they really know what they're doing. If you're still a little shaky, I think it should be something that you have to do again. Or, you know, like, not fail it, but have, like, a requirement of, like, in a year, come back and, like, do it one more time, you know? I don't know. Just like a personal thought I have on them. Yeah, no, there's a Paddington, and the thing is, a lot of places in the UK, because I'm in Australia, the names are here too. Like, we have a lot of the same place names here that you guys have in the UK. Like a lot of them. Like, we have New South Wales, Victoria, Melbourne. I think all those are there. There's a place here, a street here called Batman, apparently. Fun story. But yeah, we have a lot of the same place names as the UK. You passed first try? Well, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. Most of the people I know did not. They had to redo it. A couple people passed the first time, but the majority of people I know did not. Which is not to say that, like, they couldn't have. It's just, I think some of them just weren't writing in, so they were a bit hesitant behind the wheel, which is not what you really need to be when you're doing your driving test. You know, like, I personally think that maybe they can smell it, like the anxiety from the people. But you know, I'm very, like, no, London does not strike me as a fun place to drive. It doesn't. I watched a lot of, like, crime shows that are, like, based out of London. Which, you know, great way for me to be figuring out London. But it just doesn't seem a great place to drive. As far as, like, traffic goes, and, like, the weather, and your streets aren't really built for cars. I mean, they weren't really built for carriages back when you had carriages. And carriages and cars are basically two sides of the same vehicle. That's right, I was making a scarecrow. I need one more tree cut down. Tree time. It's full of one way and a bunch of traffic, worst if you know. Yeah, they had to do a bunch of one ways because the city wasn't really built for cars. Paris has a lot of a better time with it because of the way, like, it was built. Like, it was rebuilt, the whole city, at a certain point. I think I needed sap and that. I think that's all I need for it. Ugh, coal. It wasn't sap, it was coal. Scarecrow. Ooh, scarecrow. Okay. The big difference with rain here is that rain here is either one of two ways. It's like a random summer shower that'll happen and go away. It happens for like 20 minutes and then it's gone. Or we will get like torrential rain with possibilities of lightning and flooding. There is no in-between zone with rain here. So, but all my knowledge of, like, we're gonna go and see the wizard now, so we can unlock the community center, because, hooray. Do I want to take the, can't remember what the first thing we unlock with that is. So we'll come back to that, the farm, once we unlock the community center. Excuse me? Well, hello, Thormir. Thanks so much for the raid. Hope you're having a good day. Think this is how it is. It's been a while since I had a raid. There it is. If you were playing Kingdom 2 Crowns, how was that? I've played a little bit of that game. Not very good at it. Yeah, no worries. How are you doing? So you're playing the, like, Kingdom 2 Crowns. I've briefly played that game, like, twice. I didn't really understand what it was doing. It doesn't really come with, like, a vast amount of instructions, that game, which is fine. Like, it was a cool game. I bought it for a couple bucks. But I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so as I like played through it, it was just like a mystery. But hey, thank you so much for raiding. Well, thanks for being a community here. And if you need to like go have a drink or something after your stream or like go relax, I get it. But thank you so much for like coming along. And thanks so much for like following. Hope you're having a like hope the game went well for you. As little I know of it, I think it's just a survival game, I think. So you have to like survive existing. Looked for someone wholesome playing Stardew and you came up, here I am. I did fumble a bit with the raids. It's okay. Like, it's perfectly fine. I know that half the time I end up with like a ton of lurkers, because I just natter away. So, you know, whenever I raid, it's just like me and everyone else is asleep. Or like they poofed. I'm like, cool, great. It's the world we live in. But I appreciate the raid nonetheless. Plus, you know, sometimes it's like if you switch games, people are like, I didn't really want to watch that game, but I wanted to watch this game. So, like, when that happens, people, like, you know, depart. Plus, there's a couple of people I, like, watch, and they'll only host, and so once that streamer ends, you don't get raided with them. You just, like, end up in a nothingness. Which is kind of interesting. You may notice I'm not reading his dialogue, but I have seen this particularly cutscene of like, hey, we're gonna like feed you poison and you're gonna get like turned into a tree. And here's like a Junimo thing that's gonna freak you out like a billion times. So this is my like 100% trying to complete it run. Because I've never succeeded at doing it. I always seem to give up or forget about it or get bored. Because I do run throughs of different things. So I've done in all items, I've done in all weapons, I've done in all museum things, I've done in all cutscenes, although I failed at that one. But that was because they like added in a cutscene or they changed a cutscene and I like missed a cutscene. It was a whole thing. Plus I like didn't want to marry one of the candidates and I didn't want to date them, so I missed out on it because I like refused to give Emily gifts. At this point, a lot of people know the cutscenes by heart. Yeah, well, I'm determined to get every single cutscene because the thing is, I haven't seen all of them. Everyone has like preferred marriage candidates, so they like know the cutscenes from those marriage candidates and will repeatedly like go to those marriage candidates because you know everyone's got a preference. Perfectly fine. I have not seen the majority of the cutscenes, or if I zoned out. It was so long ago that I did some of them, and they've added in cutscenes, like endgame cutscenes of marriages. So all of the marriage candidates have like 2 cutscenes you can only see once you're married to them, and you have like 14 hearts with them. So I have to marry them, get them to 14 hearts, then divorce them. Plus, I never like turned my children into doves. Didn't do it. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna like erase our children, but because I'm gonna try and have my children with like my first spouse, and I'm gonna get rid of them somewhere before my last spouse so I can get new kids with my last spouse, because I kind of am curious if I can get more children after like turning them into doves. Just a personal thought, you know, like how will I explain it to the new kids? I don't know, but it's something that I kind of want to do to see if I can do it. Because I don't know if once you turn your kids into dubs, if you can get more kids, or if it's like, oh, you just abandon your children, like, no more kids for you. So, you know, I just want to know. I've never tried it. Plus, I want to cover the entire town in items. Because I've seen it done once. Never actually done it myself. So, my attempt is a full completion of the town. Like, fully decorating the whole town, fully covering the whole town, fully unlocking everything, fully seeing it all, and then, once I've done it, I'm gonna delete it. That's right. We're gonna delete it once it's done. Oh, it's gonna hurt so much. I might cry. And the thing is, it's so much easier to delete a saved file in Stardew Valley than in anything else. Like, all the other games are like, you have to log out, go on the main screen of the Nintendo Switch, and then, like, delete it there. Like, then they're just like, do you want to delete your save data for this game? And you're like, yes, I want to do it. And you, like, click delete, and a big red button comes up, loads, and you have to, like, click it, and it's like, deletion. And on Stardew Valley, you can just press a little X, and it's like, goodbye! You can at any point delete it. But I want to do 100% run of it. I'm determined. Yeah, gotta go, but good luck. Thank you so much. Well, thanks so much for stopping by and raiding, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your night, or day, depending on what time it is for you. It must be really early if you're in the UK, as far as I'm aware. But look, we're becoming a tree. So yeah, you have fun with that. I know that I've gotta go in like an hour or so, because it's now 11 o'clock p.m., not a.m. Oh man. The tree scene. I personally would rather be turned into a Junimo. Just personally. Oh look, I've joined with the true forest. A part of the forest. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this movie. I bring it up every time this happens. But like, there was this movie that came out years ago. This is an old movie. It wasn't Ghibli, but it reminds me of Ghibli. And it was just like, the earth was taken over by this like fungus that like came out of the moon. It was like these earth dragons that like hit earth, and then they became like earth dragons, and they destroyed humankind. They like blew up a bunch of stuff, and they like made the entire earth covered in like this magical forest, or at least most of the earth was covered by this magical forest. And it like, if you spent enough time with the forest, you would start to turn into a tree. Like, you physically started to turn into a tree. And so, like, the main character, like, the wise people of his town were all, like, tree people. So, you know, they're just chilling as trees. I'm about fast. I'm still utterly confused by it. To this day, I think back on, like, the tree, and whenever I play this game and I see the, like, tree thing, I'm like, oh look, there's magical trees, I just think, forest sees you. Go, pick out the forest. Like, all this kind of gibberish stuff, because they use this kind of, like, airy voice of being like, the forest hurting, the pawpaw, the forest. And it's just, like, high squeaky voice that happened. Or these, like, nymph things that came out of a tree. And, like, the main guy in the movie, he, like, found a girl in a capsule. And she, like, had just lived in this. Because the thing is, the plan with the capsules was, like, everyone would end up in these capsules. And they'd get held in the capsules until, like, it was safe to leave the capsules, right? Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately, this girl, she, like, for whatever reason, I don't know, she, like, lived. Everyone else, for the most part, out of the capsules, like, died. There was odd people in the capsules who, like, didn't. But it wasn't really very common for people to survive the capsules. Don't know what went wrong, don't know what caused it, but they just perished. And then there was a couple that came to. In the movie, there's only, like, 3 of them. So there's, like, this main guy, there's her, and some random, who I don't remember, who, like, dies. But she, like, gets involved with this guy who's really connected with the forest, and whose people are connected with the forest. He's connected with the forest. in like a magical way. And then she like starts an apocalypse of like where they try and destroy the earth or like destroy the forest. Like they try and set off this like volcanic eruption thing that like eats the forest. Which I'm still to this day confused about. Like, I don't know why. Like, I get why he tried to shoot. He was like, humanity needs to be saved, and so they lived in this like mechanical place that was like, they traded with the people who lived in the forest. But like, they didn't go into the forest, so they didn't become trees. It was a whole thing. Anyways, her dad was one of the scientists who like caused the disaster with the moon and the earth dragons, because it was some kind of like plant thing they were trying to make that was supposed to like get more food to people, because there's like a food shortage, and so it was supposed to like make more food more quickly for people, and then it just kind of like exploded into the moon exploding because they planted it for some reason on the moon. It was a whole thing. Regardless, it was a fun story. But every time this scene happens, I think of that movie, and I think of like people being turned into trees and being consumed by the forest after the forest gave them these like food and sustenance for all these years. And these people like go and they work in the forest doing I have no idea what. Because it's never really made clear what they do in the forest, besides like scavenging in the forest of like the lost things of civilization, which is how he found her. Because he like went scavenging in this area that no one was supposed to scavenge in. And he like found her. And he was like, oh look, it must be a miracle. Because I found this girl inside a magical capsule. And she's alive. And most people who apply the capsules are like dead. I'm overall confused, and I think she like from memory, I think she knows the guy. It was a whole thing. I don't know. Regardless, that's what I think of every time this kind of stuff comes up. It's an odd thing for me to be thinking of in a Stardew Valley game, but there you go. I just hear like, the forest needs you. Save the forest. You know? That kind of bizarre things. Because, you know, it's perfectly normal to hear, like, the forest talking to you and being like, save the forest, blah blah. Those are bullheads. You know? Just as like a thing. I don't remember its name. Someday I'm hoping to remember what it's called. But as of yet, I just don't. I keep meaning to like look it up and be like, oh yeah, that's what it's called. That thing. Oh, that name. That's great. I can rewatch this movie. I had it at one point on like a disc, and I keep meaning to see if I can find the disc with this movie on it. I don't want to say it's called Earthsea because I'm pretty sure that's not its name. I'm almost entirely convinced it is not called Earthsea. But I also feel like it could be called Earthsea. But I'm not convinced enough to be like, yeah, it's Earthsea. No. I feel like it's something else. It was a bizarre movie, and it had like elements of something you would think of when you looked at some of the like animated Japanese animated movies of the time. But it wasn't like a Ghibli looking thing, you know? Like, I didn't look at it and think, oh, that's Ghibli. No. It was, like, in the realm of, like, animated. I don't quite know how to explain it. I've tried looking up this movie so many times. I just can't find it. I, like, literally can't find it. Like, I can't find out what it's called. I can't find out who made it. And believe me, when you look up stuff like save the forest and like all that stuff, it's not what would come up. There's all these things about like conservation and like saving people with, which, you know, I get. I do. But you know, I gotta just wonder. Seeds. So I like to try and fix, like, fully complete the community center by like early year 2, because you have to have that like red cabbage thing that only appears in year 2. However, occasionally I've been lucky and it'll show up in the traveling cart that's like in the forest, but most of the time it will not. So if you're lucky, yay. If not, well. So because we have energy left, we're gonna try and cut down some trees because I want to try and get more wood to go and like fix the bridge that's in like on the beach. So I want to fix it. That bridge is important. Boop. And we're also gonna take Gunther as stuff tomorrow, I think. Like, because we have like 4 different like artifacts. I think that'll give us a couple of rewards. But I also wanted to see maybe about making 2 more chests. Oh wait, need this. We need the scythe. Scythe. And replace. Okay. Now we're gonna replant these as well. Is there any other one? No. Cool. So we're gonna plant some trees as well. Because that's the thing about like cutting down the trees. You don't want to like run out of the trees at a certain point. Because the one advantage of this farm over the others is that you have more space to like replant. You know? Versus some of the others where it's a bit more like restricted on land until like a little later in the game. You don't necessarily run out of room as quickly for like trees. This is the last tree I can do today. And it's enough for a chest. Don't want to make a chest. Yeah, we're gonna make a chest that we're gonna put down at the fishing spot tomorrow. So I think we need, we need roughly 3 chests. Yeah, I think we need like 3. So I think we need 1 for near Clint's. So I can put ore and stuff there, because you always run out of storage space when you're like making geodes out of stuff. Or you'll get there and it's closed and so you have just geodes in your pocket. So I always like to have a chest at his house, because no one walks near there except him. And he just walks straight out and down. So if you put it like next to his trash can, it doesn't go anywhere. I put one next to the museum, because you pick up useless stuff all the time. You need to trade to him and it's like closed because you've just come back from the mine and it's late. Or you just didn't want to yet or whatever. So you dump it in there because you're like, oh look, I've got this thing from fishing, but I don't want to go and deal with like whatever rewards related to it yet. So just dump it in the chest. And you put one down near the fishing spot in the sea area, because Willie's closes early. So that way you can just dump all your fish in there and put some like bait in. So when you need it, you can go there. You just gotta make sure to pick the right place. So it's not somewhere that anyone walks through or stands. and it won't get removed by any festivals. So it has to be like down on the beach a little bit from memory. So I gotta find the right spot for it. Because I don't want to get it to get destroyed by any of the festivals. Because it gets picked up all the time. It took me ages to figure out the right spot for the chest. And the thing is, if you don't check it, like the day after the day of... Huh, too bad I did these. Raising farm animals, battling friends, gives me... I gifted George! Did no one remember this? No? No one? Well, it's a good thing we got a tulip. We're gonna gift Evelyn. But yeah. Early on, wood is the most important. Later on, it becomes a combination of wood and stone. You can technically buy it if you have enough money. It doesn't really matter about having it on hand. Because you do reach a certain point where, like, realistically, it doesn't matter. Potatoes. I forgot that you can sometimes get multiple potatoes from the same potato thingy, and thank God it's raining. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna take one turnip. Do I have a turnip? So I have one potato. I'm gonna put it in here. Okay. So we're gonna give Evelyn the tulip. Throw my scythe with me. Give me my scythe. We're gonna find a place for the chest. I want to make it a second chest. Whatever near the Clint's. These ones are a little annoying. We're gonna go to Gulliver's today. You know what? Let's make another chest. We're gonna put Ollie back in here until I. Okay, chest time. Oh. We need a second chest. I don't expect a third one at the moment because it's just too much wood to be chopping today. But we're gonna try and make a second chest. One more tree. I don't know. Started out looking really calming, but yeah, I had a bit of a burnout with Animal Crossing, which is why we're playing Stardew Valley today. So it's just like, enough. You know where you have like a slight burnout of a game and you're just like, I don't really want to. That was kind of what happened with Animal Crossing, a little bit. Like, I still love the game. It was just, after 2.0, I was just playing too much of it. And I decided to unlock the, like, what do you call it? Like, the ability to decorate, like, your villagers as houses, which requires you doing, like, the 30... This is another place we're gonna put... reading. This is another place we gotta put a chest, because I always put one out here for, like, when you go to, like... We'll come back for you, it's fine. You always put one out here for, like, when you're going to the desert, because there's just some stuff you either want to have with you, or that you want to leave behind, because you're like, I don't need you at the desert, you know? There's just some things that aren't required at the desert. So today's another day where we're gonna try and get... this place. But it was here? From memory, I think that's where I put it, because I think this was where it was safe. You know what, until I decide, I'm gonna put it next to Clint's house. Because Clint is just all around safer. Okay. Don't wanna... Oh, let's go in. We gotta handle Gulliver eventually. He is, in fact... We gotta do the cutscene of Gulliver. Well, not Gulliver, Gunther. That's why I was calling him Gulliver. His name is so much like Gulliver. I like that now you can move stuff, though, in here. So when you place stuff down, you can later on move it. Because I liked having all the gems in the same area. And I always forget how many gems there are. You know, it's easy enough to forget how many you have. But yeah, so with the burnout, because I played a lot more from 2.0, I do have an idea where my island's going. I do have stuff to plan for my island. I just also have like agency's recipe. Ooh. I place that one, and that's gonna have the geodes. I just don't have enough pocket space most of the time to like deal with them all, because every single one of them can have 2 things, can have 1 thing, and half the time you'll get like stones, and the other half of the time you'll get like some combination of stones with something else, and it's like, oh yeah, cool, I got stones, hooray. Or you'll be like, oh no, I got this. Ooh. So it's just easier to have it nearby so you can like deposit it and be like, oh look, Evelyn. Yeah. We're gonna say hey to George over here. Hey George. Here you go. He likes them. I swear I keep these almost entirely just to give to George. Like, we're BFFs. Look at this. He totally spoke with George. Come on, game. Get your stuff together. Hey, George. Went shopping last night and picked up a fresh chub on a chum bucket sale. I mean, that's fair. You can't go fishing yourself. Although I think he'd look great in like a hat and fishing. Honestly, they're 2 of my favorites. Another game I really want to do a playthrough of is Spiritfarer. It's been ages since I tried playing. It made me cry. And I stopped because I was enjoying it, but I got distracted with another game because I just do that occasionally. So where do we want to put this? It's gotta be somewhere it won't be in the way, that it's not gonna get destroyed, but that I can place it and it will be fine. Most of the places on here end up having like the winter market people at it, so I don't think I can place it close on here. I think I can put it here. We're gonna test it out, so we put it here today. We're gonna see if it's still there tomorrow. Like, game day wise. There we go. 500. We are a quarter of the way to the back. So we're probably good for seeds for a couple of days. We should, in theory, go fishing after we dump these things at home. Because they're just going to clog up our storage, like our space in our bag. if we keep holding on to them. Like, I understand food, important, yay. We're gonna do some fishing to try and get the catfish. After which, failing getting the catfish, because that is a possibility, we'll come back here and chop trees for some wood. Because we need the 300, I think it is. I think it's 300 wood that you need for the bridge. I'm pretty sure it's like 300. Could be 200, I might be wrong, probably not. There was a certain point at which with this game where I actually had it predicted, like, exactly how many, like, I knew exactly how many, where everyone was most of the time. I could predict it. I could say, like, oh yeah, this person is here. Or, like, this person is here. But no, so my island is kind of in, like, a process of, like, it's kind of stuck in, like, that I'm decorating it at the moment. But my island's also very cluttered. So I'm basically just, like, I need to get to the next day. Because I think the next day is the crop day. Or it's the day before the crops appear on the island. It's one of the two. I think it's crop day. After which I will get 30 of each crop. And then I'm selling my excess planted crops because I just need the space to plan out the island. Even if I'm replanting some of the crops, because I will replant some of them. Because I do like having a certain amount of each. I just have far too many orange pumpkins. Because at the time, I had a lot of pumpkins because pumpkins were the only crop. Like, there was a window of time where they were the only crop you could have. But then we got more crops. And so now I'm trying to incorporate a bit of each of the crops on the island. So each area has a different main crop. So, like, my forest, its main crop is, like, wheat and pumpkins. The area with Tom's has mainly more tomatoes. So I do want to change over some of the crops there because I think I want to make it a little more with tomatoes. And then, but it's also pumpkins, so is like the back farm area will need to have basically no pumpkins because there's pumpkins basically everywhere else. So I'm using a lot of pumpkins in the rest of the island. And I'm going to have a couple of pumpkins inside the farm area. But I wasn't planning on having a lot of pumpkins. So this area is a very overgrown. The farm, like this forest is an overgrown, like Halloween-ish, like harvest island. So it's gonna focus on like crops and harvest. But once I've finished it, I'm thinking I'm gonna flatten it again. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do with the next one. So my main, like, it's not going to be an immediate flattening. I want to have, like, a good day to save it on. So I want it to be more autumny, because it's currently still very, like, light green. So I want it to be, like, a true autumn. But I'm still thinking over what I want to do afterwards. The problem is, I guess I'm having this, like, burnout with it. I don't really want to play it. Because it's just, it's in this, like, intermediate period where I'm, like, just, like, moving houses. Because I need to move them so I can, like, fill in the ground underneath them. So I can terraform up. And place, like, decorate where their new house, like, locations is gonna be, like, are gonna be. So I have to find a place for them, and currently the pumpkins are taking place. So I have to move all the houses into this other area that's gonna be the farm. Just temporarily, while I flatten out where their houses are. So I can place their houses. And it's driving me nuts, because you can only move one house at a time, and I don't time travel. I only move forward a day at a time. And and I like pause my game when I burn out, so when I'm not playing, it's paused on the same day. So when I go back, a bunch of days haven't passed, I'm still on the same day, so I can do the tasks that you can only do daily on that day before I move on to my next day. So the island is just kind of stuck at the moment in this kind of limbo of me slowly progressing it forward a day at a time. Like, I have yet to experience my birthday. My birthday is on the island, like the actual island, is in like 18-ish days on it. So when I do eventually reach it, I will celebrate it on stream, be like, hey, no, Animal Crossing. Really, be one in Animal Crossing. Oh boy. But yeah, so that's just kind of what's going on with it. I do still play a little bit each day, so I am doing some of the dailies, slowly progressing it forward. But it's gonna take a while. Like, it's not coming anytime soon. I don't know. It's just like the lack of desire I have at the moment to like actually play it. It's just like, you know that feeling where you just feel tired when you start doing something? That's how I've been feeling at the moment when I play Animal Crossing. Just like, I don't want to be doing it. I'm forcing myself into doing it kind of feeling, which sucks because I love Animal Crossing. I think it's just because I played too much at once. So the way I used to play it in New Leaf was I did like, there's only a couple of dailies you had to do, like only a couple, and the thing is, once I've completed a couple of the dailies, because there's a couple of things you can only do once per day, and that is stretching and roost, capping, those couple ones, once I've done them, and like completed the related Nook Miles task, for like completing the number of days, I'm never gonna do them again. I don't need to. I'm gonna keep doing I have one where I go to the work, like the island, like the HHP workplace, but that's mostly so I can get the recipe task. I think, also Joan gives out turnips, which I can sell, and, there's like you can get bushes, I think, from the school. But yeah, so like I'll still go there for those couple of things, pick those up daily, but other than that, perhaps not. I don't know, maybe a smallmouth bass there. Not giving the first of that one to come through. I feel like I need it for something. Oh wait, still have energy and still have daylight left. So what we're gonna do is tree time. We're gonna cut down some trees. Yeah, I've been informed not to cut down the like base, to leave the base, because it actually will like plant trees nearby. So we're gonna do a test for that with some of these trees and just like leave the part of the tree. But yeah, from what everyone remembers, and like a couple of days ago we had that direct. And it was super exciting, because the thing is, there wasn't any games I was really looking forward to at the time. Like, there was a couple that I was interested in, like Kirby, still pretty interested in that one. But there wasn't a ton of games, like, that we knew of that were coming out for the year. And to be fair, a couple of the games they announced, I still don't care about them. I still care 0%. Some of the sports ones, I'm not what you call a baseball fan. Which, fine. Not everyone's gonna be an Animal Crossing fan either. Doesn't have energy to get back to that. Okay, we're gonna... briefly the last time I played this. I went a little delusional. I was like doing voices because I decided to talk to myself and be like, yeah, no, this is totally a real thing. And I think I was very tired at the time when I did this, but to be fair, it was also kind of fun. I don't know if I'll ever do that again, but it was definitely something I remember doing. I think I have footage of it somewhere. I've been saving all my VODs because I'm like, I want to upload them somewhere so I like, because Twitch only saves them for like 30 or 14 days or something. It's like 60 days. And I like having them saved so that way I have somewhere, you know, they don't have a problem if you like wait. I think it's like 24 or 48 hours because they understand that like they do get deleted. A lot of streamers do actually have like a specific YouTube channel that's just for their VODs. Because, you know, you want to have it preserved somewhere. Because what if you need the footage? What if you want to like reminisce about stuff you did way back when? So a lot of them do that. They'll like have one. So I have one. That I save here. I'm like, someday I may go back and like react to me being a dodo bird. Because I plan on doing this streaming thing for, you know, a good couple years to come. Because I enjoy it. And I know that I'm like, everyone grows out of it at a certain point. But there's plenty of people that I know that are doing it and they're much older than I am. So I don't think it depends on like how old you are. I think it just depends on like whether or not it's something you want to be doing like long term or not, you know? I don't know why I'm rambling with that. Sometimes I go off on a ramble and I'm just like, what was I talking about? But I think one of the things I like really wanted to talk about was like some of the games that are coming out. So I know a bunch of people, I was watching them react. Like react to the direct. And they were like, what? Some of them just didn't know the Klonoa series. And oh my god, the Klonoa series is coming to Switch. I couldn't be more excited about that if it was possible. Like honestly. I'm very excited about the Klonoa series coming. I have any? Yeah, I do. They're there. First stamps. Okay, we have 77. Do I want to use today to get more wood? So I need one more chest anyways. For like crops. Because I don't want it taking over the materials section. Croppage. This is always the evolution, isn't it? Like, oh yes, the crops. The crop in there now. Crop. Boop. Watering can. I'll take this out. The plan is to try and get. I think it's on. I think it's only 200. It would be 300. I might double check. I know the beach is something. But yeah, so the Klonoa series, I was surprised by how many people who didn't seem to know like what that was, didn't know anything about it, and I was just like, how? How can you not know about like the Klonoa? Like I thought they were like from some of the people seem to really know about it, but others like just don't. I'm like, huh. Surprising. How many do you need to get across? Version. Title pool. This tells me nothing. Oh, tells me nothing. Beach started. 300. Okay, thank you. Is that so hard? Game? No? Great. Game was like, we're not gonna tell you, we want you to figure it out yourself. And I'm just like, no, I want to know. I want to know what this mysterious amount is. So we need 300 wood. Oh boy. But yeah, so Klonoa was definitely like top for me. As someone who like I like played it a bunch as a kid, so I had the Game Boy game. For anyone who remembers that one. Never finished it. It got really hard near the end, and although I was giving it a go, I got really stuck on one level. And so I don't believe I ever finished it, honestly. However, the second one, I'm pretty sure we owned it on PlayStation 2. And although I didn't finish it, my dad did. So I do remember watching parts of it. Because I know that apart from I think it also came out on the Wii. I was looking, I know this because I was looking it up at one point because I wanted to play it on a more modern console because our PlayStation 2 died. So PlayStation 2 playing it wasn't an option for me anymore. So I was like, okay, I wonder where I could play it, and I saw there was a Wii version. I wanted to get the Wii version. But it was so expensive. Like, it wasn't a little expensive, it was like, hey, you wanted to, like, sell your organs expensive? Like, it was ridiculous. I do not know why it was as expensive as that. I literally don't. I suppose it's because it's such a rare game to find, plus it is a fun game, like it was fairly popular at the time. So I guess I get it. I do. It just, oh boy, was it expensive. Ugh. Not the kind of price tag that most people would cough up for unless you were like really invested in playing it. Or like completing your collection of some sort. Like it was the like, you wanted to complete your collection price tag. I don't know if it was like a common release for Nintendo, like if they had a lot of copies of it or not, or if it's like, you know, one of those games where like they didn't do a lot of releases of it, so even with it being popular, it's hard for people to find, you know? Because there are games like that where it's like the game was good, and because of that, it's hard to find copies. You know, it's always a wonder for me what kind of reasoning there is for being so expensive. Like, not a little expensive, like a lot expensive. Oh well. It's coming to Switch, and I'm getting it, and I will then play it. Probably on stream, and also off stream. There's a collection of games I bought just to play on stream. And I'm going to start working through them, like, because there's a backlog. And so although I'm still gonna play Animal Crossing on stream, because I've been having this, like, Animal Crossing burnout, I will be moving a bit more into variety, not just straight Animal Crossing. I will still play Animal Crossing, because I know that's where I had developed a lot of the people who watched me. And I did play it a lot. So once I've got some stuff organized on my own, I will probably do a, like, stream of, like, just straight decorating. And, like, decorating the bit of my island that I need to decorate, and starting the move of some of the houses. It's all a person. The fact that it takes, if you only move one day to, one house at a time, drives me a little bonkers. Okay, still there. Hooray. But But yeah, so that's gonna be something I'm getting. Kirby is another one. I'm very excited about Kirby. I'm still a little scarred by the trailer. I don't know anyone else, but like watching Kirby like swallow a car, I'm mind terrified. Like, what was that? Why did he swallow a car? I lost it. I think I lost it at the time. That it was just like being eaten. Like, I don't know what else to do. No, let's sell this fish. Let's go to the stream to see if we can get a catfish. We probably won't, but it's worth a try. But yeah, so like, I use fashion, suppity, supping. Summer's probably going to be the season where we try and get Sam's friendship most, because he's a bit of a challenge during some of like the rainy spring season, whereas in summer, I think he just like lives at the beach. So if you like go and talk to him every day, you get like a certain amount of friendship points automatically. Catfish, come on, be a catfish. Catfish. Yes. Okay, I want a second catfish. Is it wrong? I'm a little greedy and I want a second catfish. Is it wrong? No. Catfishes are one of those ones you can only get it in certain weather conditions on certain days. So, you know, when it rains, you may as well see how many catfish you can get. You can occasionally get a catfish out of the trash from a couple people's houses. I think it's like a Lewis. Two of the others I think can get out of their trash. But it's like not a high chance, as far as I'm aware. It's not like a super lucky thing. It'd almost be easier if getting a dinosaur egg. But yes, so I know Kirby's like change in the trailer. I freaked out a little bit because it was a lot. He turned into a car, turned into a cone. I'm excited for the game, but I'm also like holding back on like my hypeness. Especially after what happened with Kirby Star Allies. So I bought Kirby Star Allies like 2 years ago. And it didn't go super well. This was before the DLC for it came out. Like the extra, like the update they did. This was when it was just straight the release of Kirby. At launch, I had fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed myself fine. Played through most of it. It was pretty easy. You can complete it in like 6 hours. And the thing is, when you had the right allies, going into any boss fight, even if you sucked, like I did on several of those fights, I had no idea what I was doing. Your companions could generally be useful enough that, like, with a couple of special abilities, if you used them, you could pretty much get away with, like, not really doing much. I hadn't completed the game yet. I was on the third like, world. Like, I think it was the second or third world. I had 99 hearts. Like, legit 99 hearts. Like, I'd maxed out. I don't know if you can get more than 99. But I had 99. I just don't know what to do with it. It was madness. Plus, when you did, you had the amiibo, which I do. I had all the Kirby Star Allies amiibo because they did a deal. So they sold the old amiibo, right? And then they stocked the new amiibo, and then they sold it. And I got all of the amiibo pretty cheap. Like, super duper cheap. I got most of the amiibo figurines for $9 a figurine. There's like maybe 12 of them max. Maybe. So I also have the sunfish and the shad, so that's the only one I need. I've got the bullhead. Sardine. I think I have a bream already. Pretty sure. And I've got a couple of these. So we're gonna go back to the house, because I have next to no health right now. We're gonna get a bunch of the fish that are needed. And bring them back. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing. It's a shame that you can't, like, put a bunch of stuff into, like, a chest. Pick up the chest and, like, carry it too near here. It's a shame. Unfortunately, you can't. Yeah. So we're gonna see how many we can fit in. I don't need most of the tools for this. We're gonna put the stick. Okie dokie. Stick this. Yep. Okay. Now. And we're gonna sit there and then bream, shad, sardine, sunfish, bullhead, potato, 1, 2, 3. I think that's all of them. I don't think halibut. Pretty sure there's not a halibut involved with this. Jellyfish. No halibut. Anything else have? Cauliflower should be coming up soon. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Then there's a couple of games that they showed that looked fun, but I don't know if I would ever get use of them. You know, like they had Mario Strikers, and then they had, it's kind of in the same realm as like what happened with Mario Party. For anyone who doesn't know, I bought the original Mario Party, like the not like the, you know, the original one for the Switch that came out. Didn't have online support, didn't have online stuff involved with it. But it came out. You know, it was a fun game. I played it a couple of times with friends. But, like, riverfish. Shad. I need the tiger trout. This one is by far the easiest one of all these fish, honestly. Like, once you upgrade the act like 2 times, you basically can get this finished. Because half the what's her face? The night market lady, she's always selling like the like blowfish thing and the like sandfish. She sells them all the time. Like, they're too very common to find in their fish all the time. We're gonna just walk the long way back to the house because I didn't walk up this way before. We'll see if there's any little veiny things out here. And depending on how dark it is, we might go down to the forest. See if there's any down there either. Ooh, little toy. Foraging. Another one that I really like getting the friendship for is Leonard here. This like homeless guy here. It's in his little like tent. He's a sweetie. He like I always feel bad that he's always so afraid. Because it just makes me think that, like, some of the kids around here must not have been super nice to him. Like, Robin's nice enough. And she even offers to, like, make him a house, though he doesn't want a house. He wants to live out in the woods. It makes me think that there has to be some of the townsfolk that are a little mean to him, you know? At some point, in order for him to be that kind of skittish of other people. This makes me a little sad. Maybe this guy wasn't treated the best by, like, the people of this town. It's just a shame. Alright. We're gonna see if there's any spring onions down in the forest. Feeling that. Bedtime. I don't know. I'm always a little more hesitant about some of the Nintendo games because of that, because I had that experience with Mario Party where it wasn't online. So most of my friends, like, we couldn't spend time with each other and, like, see each other in person. Like, it came out, we played a couple times together, but most of the time we didn't see each other in person. Like, we could have played it online together. But there wasn't a functionality that existed at the time. Like, it was a completely, like, you could do mini games online, but you couldn't do them against friends. You couldn't play boards with friends. You now can with the, like, the newer one. Like, the latest, the Superstars that came out that has those, like, older boards in them. Like, they look fun. The new boards that are in it look fun. They really do. But it's like $90. And I already bought one of their games. I refuse to buy another Mario Party when it's like the same game and they could have released it as DLC for the old one. Like, they could have been like, hey, we're adding these things into the game as a free update and these things as DLC. But no, I suppose you can make more doing it this way. But it makes me sad that they didn't do more for the other Mario Party. That it only has 4 boards, that they added the online functionality to, like, see if it worked before releasing it from the get-go with the new game. It's just a bit annoying. You know? So I refused to buy the new one. I was just like, it's not happening. I'm not getting the new Mario Party that when it came out. I refused to do it. I've bought sports games from those before. I refused to get the Mario, like, tennis, because I just, as a basis, do not generally like playing tennis. I liked playing it on the Wii, when they had, like, the Mario tennis. Like, the, you know, the normal tennis. But I just didn't think I would play Mario tennis enough to justify buying it for $90. I just couldn't justify it to myself. I did buy Mario Golf. I don't know if I regret it or not. I have never played it. I really want to play it to see if I actually enjoyed it, if I liked it, if it was any good. You know. Seeds, glorious seeds. I'm on some seeds. Miso, what you doing? I need to water you. Seriously, no gold. Really? That doesn't help. It rained for several days and there was no gold that came out. That is very unlucky. Okay. I'm gonna keep a total of 10 parsnips. Just cause. I'll sell these in town. And we're gonna water. Okay, watering time. Leave the scythe. I was like, what am I missing? Oh yeah, my scythe. Oop. Done. Down. I know eventually will, because I need to, like achievements, because those exist. I need to sell one of every kind of item. So craft 15 different items. I need to sell 15 of each crop. So eventually we'll need to make a plan of having 15 of each crop. It's not going to be in year 1. I think year 2 is the year that I'm going to make sure to have. I'm probably going to do 20. 20 of each crop, just because crows suck. And I want to be very careful that I make sure that I have the right amount of each crop, because the last thing you need is to like be partway through and be like, oh yeah, there's only like 2 days left in the season. It's like, oh, I haven't gotten 15 of each of those crops. Delightful. Glad I wasted that time. I think all that's left is the I need the cauliflower and the bean. I need more cauliflowers too. I need some cauliflower seeds. Okay, so there's those. That's here. Ew. Oop. Okay. We're gonna try. Let's do grass. This grass will be the death of me. I know we're so close to the bigger battle, but I need the crops for. Unfortunately, I need a days to do a full lot of cauliflower. Cauliflower takes like 14 days or something. Ridiculous like that. It takes a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of days for a crop. This is where my sadness goes in spring. This is why I love the rain days in the first year. Because it's just like, oh yeah, no, I totally didn't use all the rain days just so that way I could do anything else. The rain days become my profit margin days. You know, where you just go fish and you're like, oh, I fished. Woo. Fishing time. I know that this ancient crop one, half the time I never plant it until like I get the greenhouse. Because I don't remember how long it takes to make. Okay. We're off to see the person. I don't think they're closed on Tuesdays. I'm pretty sure they're not closed on Tuesdays. I will be sad if they're closed on Tuesdays. I know Pierre's closes on one day of the week. I think it's Wednesday pretty sure it's Wednesday. I will be very sad if it's not Wednesday. I'll be sad if he closes on Tuesdays. This is a moment of truth. Thank God he's not closed on Tuesdays. Oh, I was about to get very sad. Okay. Boop, boop. Oh, we have enough for a bag. It's okay, it doesn't hurt. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh look, we have 51 parsnips. They only take like... These take 12, 6, 4 days. Yeah, so I have enough time to do like 2 lots of parsnips. By a good margin. there's a good margin for doing these parsnips. Hey, Willie, how you doing? What's up? No energy. I think part of it is the fact that I waited till 1 AM. Oh wait, there's Haley. Haley, come back. Come here. We need to chat. I need to say hey. Hey. No, I'm not wearing makeup, Haley. Aren't you paying attention? Please. Please, Haley. Come on. Aren't we gal pals? Aren't you my future spouse along with everyone else in this village? I'm pretty sure along with everyone else in this village, you are in fact my future spouse. Okay, let's plant these cabbages, cauliflowers, potatoes. Okay, so that is one more person. Seeds, one time. I need 3 gold parsnips. Okay, buddy? 3. That's it. Okie dokie. It is now foraging day. We are going to go wander the whole town because I have no energy. And we're gonna forage. Forage? Forage? Forage. We are foraging. I know. So, hey Jazz, how you doing? So. My favorite one for foraging is like fall. It's got the mushrooms, which are useful for several of these, not just like. Why didn't I bring my scythe with me? Okay, we're going back to the scythe. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. We need the scythe just for purely like weeds, because they're gonna get in the way here in the forest. No tears. This isn't me crying. I'm not crying on the inside and outside. Oh man, I miss my horse. I'm looking forward to the day we get a horse. We're just like, giddy up, horsey. Here we come. Boop, boop, done. Okay, Amy, so we're going back. Nobody cry. Here's the thing, I like having the scythe with me because it's a useful tool until you have like the sword. Because the sword does the same thing the scythe does. The only difference is like the energy use. I don't think the scythe uses any energy. I'm pretty sure it doesn't use anything at all. And I'm like the sword and the scythe both don't use anything to be used. You can use them as much as you want, but it doesn't make you any more tired. The best thing ever. We would totally pass out otherwise. The thing is, half the time you're just like trapped. by something, and it's like, oh look, there's all these like weed things instead. Let's just kill the weeds. Because the thing is, these weeds like a lot of the foraging stuff resets each season. You do have to clear out a lot of it each season because it never is as full as the first season, so it does sometimes take for a while, but it does reset every year. Not like fully, like it doesn't get this crazy again ever once you clear it out for the first time. But it does like get more, which is why it's never a good idea to cut down the trees here in the forest. Because, you know, you have to save the forest. Something I've also been asked is like, am I like PG-13? And it's like, I don't swear a ton on stream, but I have been known to talk about mature topics on and off. So it is like something to keep in mind. Which is why I'm in the 18 plus section, not the like PG-13. Because I did briefly once go on a tangent about true crime. Because I'm a fan of true crime. I don't know if anyone, like, you probably do, but like, there's this streamer and YouTuber called like Bose, and they do a lot of true crime stuff. And I love watching their videos. Their reactions to some of the like prosecutors, like the actual like prosecutor, the ones like prosecuting the crimes, is hysterical. Like truly hysterical. Oh look, it's Sam. You go ahead. I'm just doing this up here. Don't look. Nothing. Can't do this one. You're too close. Which makes me sad. What if they have a catfish? It could be so useful. There's Alex up here playing football. Nope. Yes. Trash time. Nope. Nothing. It's like, why are you searching the trash? Well, because they throw out useful tidbits. So occasionally it's useful to like scavenge their trash. Like Clint's in the museums especially, they can leave like really like gemstones or artifacts or fish. Look at this, you got a whole fish. Like there was like a fish. Like an actual fish. So I'm leaving like the fish thing down here without putting anything in it for like a little while. We're gonna test and see if it stays there through a whole week. Because I've known it to be there for like a week, and then it will get reset and removed. They're just like, no. So it's just gonna sit there for a little bit. And yeah. I have no plans on like removing it. Now, does this need to go fish tank? Ah, it's not one of the things in the fish tank. Okay, we're gonna go put it in the fish tank because we gotta walk that way anyway. Because it's a origin day. Because I have absolutely no. It's Leonard's cutscene. Cutscene number 1, Leonard. This is one of my favorite, like not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite cutscenes. Because it like establishes a friendship with like George and Leonard, because it's like I think you only see it once you're above 0 friendship with Leonard, like the beard homeless dude. He looks a bit like a caveman. I love him. He's great because he's so much easier to find once the spa is built. He like lives. He just like sits near the spa all day. He comes back to his tent. And he sits near the fireplace. He'll like walk around and be near the lake. Walk back, sit in his tent, or be in his tent. He's like very predictable. Him and George are the most predictable, easiest to find. Love them to bits. These grumpy old men, I wish they would be friends. Yeah, I'll do it. It's fine. The 2 of them and Gus. Gus is really good once we get an orange tree. Because I just gift him oranges. Once the greenhouse is built, some of these people become a lot easier to become friends with, because I will just like grow a bunch of whatever thing it is that they need for friendship, and then I will just give it to him twice a week. And just be done. So a couple of them are very easy to become friends with, and I will just like shoot up in friendship. And there's a couple of harder ones. Thanks. I knew you were an open-minded person. I feel good. Good old Linus. I keep calling him Leonard. But good old Linus. Yeah, I'll tell him. He's gonna go and bug the bar. Hey Mikey, how you doing? I don't know. I just these oldies are so good. They're some of my favorite characters in this game. The crusty old guys, Clint, Gus. I like making Pam her house, which is one of the things we're doing. We have to make Pam a house. We'll only do it once we've like fully upgraded our house and finished the community center from memory. So we will do it. We will make them that house. They will get a house. Now I'm probably gonna try marry and divorce Penny before that, because I like Penny, but not enough to stay married to her. And I want her to live with her mom in their house. I do. I don't know if we remain friends with them after. We're just gonna chat with everyone in here, blah blah blah. Yes, we're chatting. Hey Shane, you still an ass? Yes, cool. Glad to know. Shane doesn't really grow on me until we get more friendship points with him, because he's still a drunk at this point. We start to sober him up a bit later on, which is nice. Cool, you ignore me. We've already chatted. We gotta be careful with Emily's because we can't see some of her cutscenes. So some of her cutscenes we have to make sure we don't see them. Otherwise we don't get Clint's cutscenes. Which is very important. Because Clint's are more important than Emily's. Because I don't like Emily. In fact, if marrying Clint was an option, we'd just marry him and be done with it. Clint would be our end marriage candidate. Currently our end marriage candidates are Sebastian and Shane. The two emo boys. They're the end candidates currently. We shall see when we start marrying the people off who is the final, like, preferred one, whose cutscenes are the best. Because I will grade them at the end. I'll be like, yeah, no, these cutscenes were trash. I really like Abigail's and Maru's. Their cutscenes are pretty good because they're two that I've done before. I haven't done Alex's ever, but from what I hear, some of them are pretty nice. Also, another thing is, like, with the cutscenes, it, like, unlocks certain things in the game itself. And so, like, doing the cutscenes is good because you unlock stuff. I didn't put the thing in the... you know what, let's just put it here. Put a brain here, cause... I'm gonna put you here. I'm not really selling a lot of the foraging stuff at the moment, because I'm just like, no. It's just a no. So we need 2,000 to build up. So we can unlock the bigger bag. Oh boy. Archaeology. How to win friends. I thought I did this. Foraging. I need to craft a furnace, which requires who knows what. I need a furnace. Oh boy, we're gonna have to lock the mine. I got this easy, like the mine, the actual like furnace was easy to get in the mining like farm. It's like a cheat code with it, because you like, because the farm comes with copper ore. So you don't have to like go and unlock the mine first. It's just, it exists. Don't remember how to unlock the mine. I think it's not until like a couple of days in from memory. the life of me remember. Furnace, build a coop. What was that about horseradish for Caroline? Wild horseradish. Okay, well, let's do it. Because that would be friendship points. And you know what's important? Power of friendship. I don't know if anyone else watched Care Bears. I watched Care Bears so much growing up. You know, with like Tender Heart and Grumpy Heart, and the Care Bear cousins. Man, I watched those so much. I was such a Care Bears nerd. Nothing wrong with the Care Bears nerd, though, by the way. Those guys are great. They teach you a lot about caring and sharing and friendship. You know, like everything's solved with like friendship and finding those that are in pain, and like sometimes people are just bullies because they're hurting. To be fair, fairly mature topic considering, but they did try and do it in a kind of like kid-friendly-esque way, you know? The way most kids shows try and do those kind of kid-friendly-esque talks. Ooh. We're gonna hold on to those parsnips. Okay. So, okay, I think we're gonna do more fishing because we need money, and it's currently the fastest and only way for us to make money because we're waiting for crops and more crops and all the crops. And I can't remember how to unlock the mine. You know what? I'm gonna have a quick look. How do I unlock the mine? Because I do not, for the life of me, remember, and I want the mine, but I also don't have the energy for the mine. So let's see, the mines. Okay, 5th air block till the 5th day of spring when the player receives a letter. It's the 10th day of spring. Okay, I'm just being dumb. Okay, so let's just check the beach for any forged materials, and then we're gonna go in the mine. Get this sword thing, so that way we can go into the mine whenever we feel like it. Next day it's raining. Or when we have, like, energy and food. I typically don't go in until we've, like, I think unlocked the, like, thing in our farm where it's, like, that little side thing. Boop. Fry the butt. Gunther. Okay, nothing else. All the other forging stuff must be on like the tidal pool side, honestly. So we're not gonna get a lot of help with that. Ah, Willie's here. Selling. The thing is, there's no point in us going into the mine with this little storage space. There is literally none. There's no purpose to it. There's no point in it. It's not helpful. It's a nothing moment of just like, why would we do this to ourselves? Why? There's just 0 point in it. We're donating all the things. Now let's go talk to Penny, because she's technically romantic interest. We do need to keep some level of communication. Vincent, I'm trying to talk to Penny here. Okay, blah blah blah. Spoke to Penny. I like Penny. I just feel bad for Penny. And so I always feel weird trying to romance Penny. Because, like, you don't want to be with someone who, like, pities you, right? In theory, like, theoretically. 3, 2, something for us all. A couple things to donate to Gunther. Yeah, Abigail, how you doing? Okay. Okay, cool. Sandstone thing. That thing. That thing. Ooh, what's the reward? You've got to be kidding me. Okay. No, yeah, I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? I don't think there's enough time to plant them. Theoretically. Do I plant them this season or do I wait? I don't know. I'm choosing not to get mad at Alex. No, I want to talk to Sam. Get away from me. Hey Sam, how you doing? What's up? Hey Pam, Pam, come here. Pam. See, Pam is an easy friend to get at a certain point because you just give her beer. Okay, everyone, move. Thank you. Because Evelyn, Pam is a bit of a drinker. Not a shocker, not a surprise. Who's surprised? No one? No one? No one here? Cool? Yeah, so she's a smidge of a drinker. So you have to be careful when you give her alcohol that Penny isn't around, because then she gets mad. For understandable reasons. So I feel bad gifting Pam booze when I do. However, it is by far the easiest way to quickly get her friendship up is to just gift her alcohol twice a week. Because she takes it and she's like, oh, thanks. Look, look, look. And she moves on. Don't want another chest. Do I? Yeah, I need one. I need one chest for near the mine. Because we all know I'm doomed when it comes to that tomfoolery. I want to blend them. No. But I have to. As if I wait any farther into the season, there is no point in planting them. Planted. Watering can is watering. I hate water. I'm literally not a fan of the crops, which is why at a certain point in each season I give up. I literally, like, we're maybe 10 days away from me giving up on the crops. Like, literally. Because I water them up to the point of having like a full crops. So I like do the crops. Once I get a certain point in the crops, I give up. However, something else to keep in mind. I sometimes like once I get the iridium sprinklers, I will just work my way through getting the iridium sprinklers. There was actually a glitch at one point where you could buy multiple iridium sprinklers from what's his face. You just had to exit out of the menu and re-enter into the menu multiple times, and it would let you buy multiples of the sprinkler. It just would. It was like, here's a bunch of sprinklers, have at it. Like, be free. Okay, because no one comes down here except us. So we may as well, you know, do this. Do. They've been abandoned for decades. Cool, I'll take the sword. Yeah, we're not gonna do mining until we get the second level backpack because it's a struggle with only 2. Like, question is, do I leave it here? Yeah, okay. I would say a struggle with like just 2 lines in your backpack, let alone just 1. Because this literally leaves like 6 squares for things to pick up. And that includes rocks, like sap out of monsters, slimes, all of which things are useful later in the game for something. I refuse to put myself through that, not to mention we're at like half health. So instead of that, we're gonna go drop off the scythe, which I didn't realize I still had in my pockets, and the sword, because we don't need them yet. And we're gonna go fishing. Oh boy. Because I just refuse to put myself through that. It's just not a reality. It is not a thing. So we are going to finish this day, and then I'm going to raid. So, let's see. Fishing time. Fishing. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Alright, I'm going to be right back. Let's see. Hello. No. Okay. Alrighty. I thought I muted myself. Hadn't, hopefully. Hopefully nothing weird sounded off while I was away. But as you can see, I've leveled fishing the quickest. Mining and combat will come when, you know, the mine. But I wanted to see if I can get a couple of mountain fish. Because I know there's a couple, but I can't remember if they're available in this time of year. Another thing we have to get is all of the fish. That's right. All the fish. This includes the legendaries, by the way, because there are 2 stages of legendaries. So there's legendary 1, which are the normal ones you get. You know, because there's one in 4 different fishing areas. So there's the mutant bug one, there's the one near the witch's swamp, there's one off the deep pier, and there's one, I think, in the mines? But think that's all of them. Pretty sure. And then they have a second stage. So once you've done it, there's actually a second stage one that you can like try and find. Like, you know, real treat. Always a good one. But yeah, it's a second one you can go with. So, you know, I've never caught the second level legendaries. I've caught the first level legendaries, but I haven't caught the second level ones. So I do want to do a run where we catch all, and I do mean all, of the fish. So that includes level 1 and 2 legendary. Even though the second level legendaries I don't believe show like on the like fish collected page. Like, I don't think it shows there. We're gonna do it anyway. Because, you know, why not? There's nothing stopping us from getting all the legendaries, is there? It's an adventure. It's a progression. Process. Okay. Trying to see if there's anyone I know online who's playing Stardew Valley, and the only couple I know are bigger streamers. I don't want to read that. Because that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. And I don't know them well enough. I'm like lurker human. So like I lurk and I chill. And they kinda know me occasionally. But like I'm not an active person in the community. You know, what I mean by active, like, you know, I'm there all the time in a chat, and like the streamer recognizes my name every single time. Instead of just the generic like, oh hey, name person who I see here in chit chat. Like, you know that kind. Alright, we have 2 hours, like a couple hours left on the daylight. So we're gonna go back to the farm. Drop these off. Because I think largemouth, pretty sure largemouth is on the fish tank. I think it's, yeah, they're a lake fish. So we're gonna do largemouth. The sturgeon is a winter only, and I'm pretty sure the carp doesn't arrive until summer. But I gotta check. So I'm gonna check with my fish logs, because special. We're gonna sell some of the fish. Okay, so we're keeping the largemouth and you. This has to have gone through. This is already donated and I'm not keeping it. So, bullets. Boop. Alrighty. Onward to the place. I totally forgot to give Caroline her wild horseradish, but it's okay. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Totally fine. On to the place of collection. Oh man. But yeah, so I had that issue with Kirby and Mario Party when I bought them. So as a result, I haven't felt the urge. I only need one more, so I just need a crab pot. That's literally all I need. I need a crab pot and one of these people things to show up. Pretty sure these two, the fish, don't arrive till summer. These ones are all specialty ones. One's in the mine, so I have to get down there. 2 of them are in the desert. And the other one's in this special forest. These two are at nighttime, but one's fall and one's summer. The eel is in the ocean. And the carp is the mountain, and the sturgeon is winter or fall. I usually get the glittery boulder removed somewhere in like fall to winter because I know too much about the fish in this game. Far too much. You're looking at a person who knows far too much about all of the fish of Stardew Valley. Not a bad thing, just a weird thing, just a special thing. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna cut down this tree and then put it to sleep. And maple sapling. Okay. Into the house. I like how they also fixed the glitch with like, because you used to, with the like tiny passage when you upgrade your house, you get trapped not being able to get into bed by your pet. So annoying. I cannot speak how much it would drive me bonkers. It was not good. It was a not good moment. Okay. Let's see who's online in Stardew. Because we're gonna raid. I think. Let's see. Okay. I did that. Saving. Progress has been saved. Okay. Played for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So this is a good way for us to tell how long it's going to take to do the full playthrough of the game with the hours that it takes to play. I like that part about it, that it saves it internally. Because I just, you know, have so many problems with like remembering the time. I remember once I was trying to figure it out and I had to like try and do the math and be like, this is how long this playthrough took. I want to choose someone who can speak a language I can at least speak. Because there's a lot of people who are Portuguese and Spanish or Thai online, which is great. I'm glad that there's such a community of it. But I don't want to be able to, you know, understand the people. Let's see. Stardew. Okay, let's see. But yeah, it's why I was always so hesitant about like the stuff with the new Kirby game, because I wanted to make sure that like the game was gonna be good, or at least, you know, fun enough. These ones, they're like, oh yeah, there's town building involved. I was like, damn, I've got to play it now, because you know, once there's like town building involved, I'm a sucker, like an actual sucker. You know? Because you're like, oh, look. Aha. This person's doing a first playthrough of the game, which means they likely haven't played it before, which is cool. It does. I'm just waiting for the ad to finish, because, you know, of course. But then they've only been going for about 2 hours, so they should still be going for longer. then we're gonna do this. So if you want to raid with me, copy the first one, but if you're also subbed me, which doubt it, you can use this bottom one, which looks like this once you're subbed. It's got emotes made by me. I really need to update them and make some more. So I'm probably gonna do an art stream in the future, like soon. I'm gonna do one soon. But thank everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for like spending time and hanging out and like coming along. Thank you so much to Theomir for rating me, and for everyone who came by and stopped by and chatted and hung out. You guys were all great, and I hope that you either, want to come along again next time, whether you followed or not. If you see me live, come say hey or don't. But I thank so much to everyone who was here, who hung out, and who, was here for the stream, because I'm kind of like getting back into it and like a continual flow of it. So this is going to be great. We're going to have so much fun. And thank you so much for everyone who made today even funner. So, bye guys. Be nice to Straggy3 in his first playthrough.